was worried about.
All right, we are recording now.
Wonderful.
Which is fun. I hope the audio levels are fine.
Here's hoping.
We'll find out.
Yeah, they look fine. I'm just hoping I'm not way louder than everyone else like I sometimes am. It seems fine.
You sounded a little bit louder than everybody else.
I mean the levels on here, because I have them adjusted for recording. Because I can't control how people listen to each other on a person-to-person basis, because all that is variable. And all that's in the recording, too. Woo.
Sorry.
Powerful audio.
Time to start screaming it.
No.
Please.
Screech.
Victory screech. All right. Yeah, let's get moving. Advocat, would you mind introducing yourself?
I would not mind.
Well,
I am a tiefling warlock from New Kyla. I am an emissary, ambassador type, a member of the nobility who has been sent to Sanguin. Sanguin? Sanguin.
Sanguin.
I keep wanting to add the E, but
It's not a
Sanguin.
penguin.
Penguin.
Sanguini.
Oh my gosh. I've been sent after Kyla's recent revolution to start reforming. I'll say it, start reforming like alliances, trade agreements, good.
Diplomacy.
Right. Playing that game once more. In this time of reconstruction. And
Could you give a
any
short
other-
visual description?
I am a red-skinned tiefling with dark black hair, and a kind of fanciful coif, and a goatee. I'm wearing a kind of luxuriant suit of sorts with a cravat. I am wearing custom boots that make my feet look cloven-hooved. And then when I walk, they do a...
Nice. Impressive.
It's very fanciful.
So, how did you end up with the Flaming Fist?
Well, kind of seeing the state of things, and perhaps hearing some rumor, hearsay, catching some drift of the news, I took it under my own kind of intuition to volunteer my efforts towards the good of the city, and have ended up here.
Seems reasonable. So you're kind of trying to curry favor with the current leadership.
I'm trying to make myself look good, frankly.
And you're not afraid to get yourself a little dirty in the process. Just a
I'm
little.
not-
Just a little.
I'm not unknown to doing some, some of the harder work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily like it, but it's not all about liking it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Sometimes you do what's best
Wonderful.
for everyone.
Arliss. Arliss, correct? Arliss?
Correct.
Arliss. All right. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Arliss de Manture.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Rude.
It's so good though.
Thanks. He is a noble of the city of Sanguin. He runs a small wagon business in the center of town, titled Arliss's Abstract Artifacts and Obscure Oddity. The one and
Fantastic.
best place to find any of your arcane and odd goods.
Oh, we're going to get along.
Okay.
He, well, being a noble still, he's actually rather on a scale than some of the others. His family has run into some financial troubles. So he's doing what he can to help put his family back on better ground. As for his involvement in the Flaming Fist, you see him getting dragged in with
With the what?
with a bloody nose.
Oh my.
Captain Zodge didn't like your attitude much, huh?
He's not much for things like that. He agreed after a few light bruises, but you know, one for extra measure. So that is where he is now.
All right. Yeah. All right. Barnaby Dawes. Would you care to introduce yourself?
Hello. I am Barnaby. I am a proud paladin of. God damn it. I am a proud paladin of Torm, and a member of the Order of Companions. I devote myself entirely to the law and the preservation of our society, as is my sacred oath. There is no higher calling to me than the protection of country and of people. As a sort of emissary, let's say, for my order to the city of Sanguin, I came to assist as best I can the Flaming Fist in not only improving the state of the city for its citizens, but improving the organization itself. And seeing where the flaws lie, bringing order to this group of individuals. This group of individuals who have so many flaws and who sometimes tend to. I'm sorry, I keep laughing.
Oh, you're being silly.
Who sometimes become the aggressors themselves.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
How do you feel about the fact that they locked the walls up real tight, both keeping them in and the refugees out?
This is against everything that I stand for. The purpose of a country is to protect its citizens and to protect its allies. Sure, we have had perhaps our countries have had a bit of a tense relationship, and perhaps our leaders specifically. But that is not what matters. What matters is that we assist each other, and we cannot be locking each other out. Such as
You've had this conversation more than once with several people, I assume. Especially people who don't want to have this conversation, I assume.
Especially people who don't want to have this conversation. I've tried to bring it up with the person who I was sent to assist Captain. What's his name?
Zodge?
I was sent to Captain Zodge, and I've tried to talk to him about it. He does not want to hear me. I don't know why.
He just keeps literally shoving you out of the way. Yeah. I was wondering, actually, Advocat, I have a question for you.
See.
How do you feel about being locked inside of Sanguin?
It's not my favorite. You know.
Not real happy about it?
I wouldn't show it per se. But no, it's a little bit disconcerting.
Smiling through gritted teeth.
You know, I have 3 daughters. I made them myself. I'm a little worried. I would rather like to get back to them.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
All right. Wonderful. In that case, Gus.
Hey guys, my name is Gus.
Sorry, briefly. Love it. Love everything that's going on right now. I forgot to ask, Arliss and Barnaby, could you give a bit of a visual description of yourself? Arliss first.
Oh god, okay. Yeah. Kind of, okay. TLDR, edgy vampire vibes, like Victorian vampire vibes. Kinda.
Mm-hmm.
But, a little more aware of himself. He dresses for what his class should be, but not what it really is.
But also a little goth.
Yeah. It's noble goth aesthetic.
Gotcha. And Barnaby.
Love it.
Barnaby is, of course, tall.
This is true.
And of
How
course, Barnaby is about 8 feet tall.
That's pretty tall.
And he's also about 2 to 3 feet wide.
It's pretty wide.
and to be honest, the way he dresses, it just fits the mood of being that tall and that wanting to protect
Does he have a little bit of a pudge?
A little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit of a pudge.
Sometimes you can see when he's wearing his armor. Sometimes you can see a little bit of a flab coming out of the out of the arm.
Doesn't fit quite right.
No,
Back rolls.
but he is dressed. He's tall, gray skin, tall, of course, gray, leathery skin.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes he forgets to wash the whole place. There's a lot to wash there. But it's okay.
Oh, bless.
But to be honest, it doesn't really matter to him because this way he fits in with the people a bit. Fits in with the common folk a bit more. The most important thing of being part of the Order of Companions is to make sure you are in constant contact with the people around you. So you have to dress as
You've
them.
got some lower city stank going on.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
And in the clothes as well, there's a small insignia, maybe.
Good
But
to know.
everything else is just very, I guess, plain, so
Awesome.
to say.
All right.
No dyes.
So Gus.
What's going on?
Oh no.
Wonderful. Please introduce yourself.
Well, I
Please
am
don't strain yourself.
this isn't straining to me at all. It honestly isn't.
Oh, good. Okay.
This is just my
MVP.
normal voice.
Oh, awesome.
But I'm a tiefling. Sorry, what am I saying? I'm a kobold.
I got confused.
Sometimes you see something you like and you gotta take it, and that's just how I've always lived. So,
I agree.
I got caught up in a little, stealing, as some call it. I mean, most people call it that, but I got caught up in it, and, here I am. I got caught, and now I have to pay off my debt. So, I'm here to help, I guess, but...
Nothing nobler than paying off one's debt.
Mm-hmm. Question.
Yes.
Are the Flaming Fist letting you have your knives? Yes or no?
I don't really use knives. I'm more of a sword kind of guy.
Reasonable. All right.
But they sure let me have them.
All right. So sounds good. You notice that whenever you are working with other Flaming Fist, they tend to have a couple extra heavy clubs around.
Yeah.
It's just in case.
Yes.
You never know. That.
Uh,
And apt
I'm
description.
about
Yeah.
3 feet tall. I have red skin, red scales, and I'm ready to fight whenever. I mean, I can stab, but I mean, don't get me too riled up.
Don't let me go.
Go off.
I'll go off on you. But,
All right. Wonderful.
Love.
Wonderful.
Love.
Yarlo. Yarlo. Yar. Like Yar and then Illo, or Elo?
Yar.
or is it
Yar.
Or is it
Har.
Rillo?
I thought we agreed on Yarlow.
Oh my fucking god.
Diddledy? No. Sorry.
Is that an I or an L?
The first one is an I.
It's
Okay.
an I. It's Iarilo. That's
Okay.
how you spell my name. It's Yarlo.
Yarlo. Gotcha.
Yarlo.
Would you mind introducing yourself?
I am Dawnbringer Yarlo. I've just decided 5 seconds ago that
You have a title.
cleric.
Yeah.
I'm a cleric of Lathander. He is the god of. Let me scroll down.
Lefander? Lathander or Lathandar?
Lathander.
Is that from a particular
Forgotten Realms wiki.
Forgotten Realms?
Forgotten well.
From the Forgotten Realms.
I will look that up later.
He is the god of creativity, dawn, renewal, birth, athletics, spring, self, blah blah. Anyways, it's not a huge part of my identity, but I am a cleric. I am from a city called I'm getting there. El Turl. Is that how you say it? El Turl?
El
El Terrell?
Terrell.
El Turl.
Emphasis on the first and last syllable. El Terrell.
Kind of like Yarrow. Excellent.
Yes. Except 3 instead of 4. Wait. El Terrell.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
3 instead of 4.
Yarrow.
It's an iambic pentameter, but only 3 syllables.
We're both 3 syllables. I
No,
don't
the
know what
opposite
you're
of
going on
iambic pentameter. Never mind. Pay no attention to the DM.
I was from a small noble house in El Turel.
There's lots of nobles.
There
We
sure are
fancy.
quite a few of us. I
Gus in the background, like, yeah.
I stab nobles for money.
I don't think that's Gus's jam, but you know.
I don't think that is the solution.
I
to
wouldn't put
this.
it past me.
All right. Extremely good. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, so I'm from a small noble house. I mean, my city doesn't exist anymore, so I'm kind of here trying to figure out what's next. And well, I talked to the captain, and here I am.
All right. Something of a hybrid volunteer. Could you give us a little bit of a visual description?
Yarlo is an Asmar. He's got some gold eyes, some long silver hair. He's about 30 years old.
Angel man.
He is a fucking angel, man. It's fantastic. The idea behind him is to be as resplendent as possible. So I assume this is my own headcanon. I assume when the sunlight hits him, it's just kind of like this cascading.
You are a
effect.
mirror.
Sparkles.
I'm a miracle. Is that what
You
said?
are a mirror.
I think when you first met Barnaby, his eyes just went wide, and he felt like obligated to get on his knees for a moment.
Jeez.
No, child, please stand.
As the cat rolling his eyes.
Just the light, the light in you. It shines so bright, like as though the companion himself has blessed you. This is.
Hey, he's not that great.
Gus, the word of reason.
Foreigners.
I'm just a humble cleric.
Yeah, humble it is.
Foreigners.
Okay, Arliss. But yeah, about 6'1" because Asmar are tall.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Man, this is gonna be fun.
Oh boy.
Y'all are, especially given what I know about all of you.
Oh God.
Guys, we're a fun group. We're all gonna get along, right?
This is gonna be
Right?
a great.
A
right.
bunch of nobles and one stupid kobold.
No, he's
Hey, that's my friend you're talking about.
Oh no.
also the assumption that everyone else is not also dumb.
Shout out to that 10 intelligence.
I mean,
Yeah, oh no, my intelligence is actually 13. My wisdom, though, is 8, so I'm not very
Nice.
wise.
That's sexy.
I'm
Weirdly book smart.
I'm modestly strong, modestly charismatic, very chunky, not that intelligent, not that wise.
How much soul does everyone start out with? Wisdom or charisma wisdom or constitution modifier with whichever is higher.
And minimum of 1, correct?
Minimum of 1. You cannot have 0 or negative soul.
3 then.
I have exactly 2.
I have 2.
Either one. They're both.
Wait, what was the? Sorry, I just.
Wisdom or
Wisdom.
constitution modifier.
Wisdom or constitution.
Someone has more soul than me.
Okay.
I think Eli's got the most.
1.
Does. Angry.
I have 2.
We are hard. We locked it on. We are
Alright.
very hard.
I'll take a note of that. Make a little
yeah.
soul counter.
Oh yes, shit. I should probably do that. Do the notes.
A tiefling, a human, a loxodon, a kobold, and an Azamar walk into a bar.
Just the most ragtag.
Speaking of bars,
Oh
so
my.
Captain Zaj has your first assignment, the first thread for you all to pull on. In the order of, if you have forgotten, we'll refresh your memory. You have been tasked with the weeding out of the Cult of the Dead 3 from the streets of Sanguin, because they are causing a lot of trouble and they're being a massive pain in the ass. They're doing a bunch of murder. That's kind of annoying. So they're going to... You are on the task of taking care of this while the Flaming Fist proper has other things to handle. Specifically, the control of the refugee crisis and trying to track down the Hell Riders, as they've been purportedly causing a bit of trouble. Captain Zodge lets you know that there is a spy that loves to hang out in a place called the Elf Song Tavern, a spy named Tarina. Now that you're in need of some information and trying to get where you go, he's told you that Tarina probably has a lead on where you should look. Now that you're in need of this information, who would like to go cash in that favor for him? Any or all of you may go on this if you would so choose.
Well, I would be happy to tag along with all of my affable new comrades.
You're
All right.
so fancy.
Arliss just kind of throws you a look like, okay.
I would be happy to accompany to make sure that everything is done as that make sure that we are all know that we are all friends, even if we are calling in an important favor.
All right.
Right. Advocate just kind of says, side eyes everyone. It's like, I will also accompany you all for reasons of my own. And just follow suit.
All right.
I mean, I could stay, I could go. I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
Whatever
Monsieur
you're most
Gus!
comfortable with.
Monsieur Gus! Won't you join me, old friend?
Eh,
Sure.
I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you.
Thank you, old friend.
Wonderful. All right. So the taverns in Sanguin have roughly as good reputations as prisons elsewhere. In that there tends to be some rumbles. There tends to be some tumbles. It can be a pretty rough place every once in a while. So it's probably good that more of you go than fewer of you. This is called the Elf Song Tavern. It's a pretty decent place as far as taverns go. Named after an elf spirit that haunts the place and occasionally sings. It's quite interesting, and it's a fun exploration. It's a fun trick that attracts more patrons, especially those from outside of town every once in a while. It's not long while you're there that you spot Tarina, a scruffy human lady with quick hands and a sharp tongue, playing Bloody Bones with some others at a table. Who would like to introduce themselves to Tarina?
Gus would like to immediately sit down and pull out his dice set to join in the next round.
Awesome. Tarina takes a look at you, just like, always good to have a newcomer on. What do you say?
I love this game.
Oh, it's fun.
I play it all the time. You got coins to spare, you gotta play it. What can I say?
Of course, and no low bidders, right?
I mean, I'm not entirely high rolling right now, but I can give a
I think I
little.
will surreptitiously kind of follow up behind you and be like, I'll spot him if need be.
Wonderful. Then what do you say?
I got a sugar daddy tonight.
What do you say? What we say? Gold and a silver.
That works for me.
All right.
Certainly.
Most of the other patrons, the other people who are in the game, back out. They're just like, all right, we'll let them do their thing. This isn't our spot.
Gus nudges Advocate, and was like, I'll do the silver if you want to do the gold piece.
That can be done.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Place the gold down.
Would you like to engage in a game of Baldur's Bones? Or Bloody Bones? It's the same thing.
Yes.
All right. Start with 3.
3? Okay. Wow. Okay, 6.
5. You can choose to roll or pass.
Roll.
Roll. Go for it.
I'm at 9 now.
All right. Roll or pass.
Roll.
All right.
I'm at 11.
All right. Roll or pass.
Roll. I'm at 13.
All right. Roll or pass.
Keep going, buddy.
Oh my god, I'm at 14.
14.
Roll.
Roll or pass.
19.
19. Roll or pass.
We're gonna stay.
We're gonna pass. All right.
Good call, monsieur. Good call.
I'm at 5. Going to 11. 11. Going to 16.
Ooh.
16.
Uh-oh.
Going to 17. 17. Going to 21.
Oh.
Oh.
You got the best of me. What can I say?
That's fair. It's fair. I'm always here if you'd like another game.
Yeah, I'll lose all my money if I keep playing.
Well, all of my money.
Sure.
Either way.
Don't
What's mine
tempt
is yours.
him.
What's
Don't
yours is
tempt
mine.
him.
Right.
All right. Well,
I've
What a
seen the man
fascinating
gamble
game.
for hours.
I'm certain. All right. Well, nice to see you in town, I suppose.
Yeah, me and my friends have come to visit you. I'm sure they could fill you in on what's going on, though.
She gives you an eye. Like, those words are very infrequently spoken with such joviality.
Barnaby will I guess walk behind them and say, "Oh, we assure you, it's nothing menacing, nothing for you to worry about. We come."
Yeah, nothing about the squad of new faces that have suddenly garnered an interest in me is particularly
You're not
threatening.
exactly inspiring hope. We've been told that you have some information relevant to a certain organization. A dubious organization.
How's about we take this upstairs?
By all means.
All right. Tarina leads you upstairs into something more of a private lounge. She gives a nod to the barkeep as she heads up and leads you all up with her. This is it's a more dimly lit room, and as she walks in, you note that she immediately makes eye contact with several other of the people in this particular room, who all give her a knowing look and then turn back to their own individual business. She turns tail and sits down at the edge of a table and just goes, "All right, so who and what do you need information for?"
We have been sent. Is it okay if I go? Is it okay if I go first? Okay.
By all means.
We have been sent on as a sort of messenger by Captain Zaj. I believe you are familiar with him.
Unfortunately.
Oh, that is a shame. But know that we are not here hostility, and we just require information on who was it again, Advocate? I'm sorry, my memory is slipping me.
A cult.
Cults
yes.
of the Dead 3, in particular.
Sick fucks, that group. They're not
I've heard-
ideal.
I unfortunately have to agree with it. Is so terrifying.
Shame what they're doing to the city. Now,
Heinous is what it is.
it's very unfortunate. I'm sure you're deeply, deeply concerned. So here's what's what. I'll let you wait. Sure. You seem like a hardy group of individuals. Tough but fair. I got some business of my own. I'm sure you understand. Some folks come in town asking around for me. I don't appreciate that a whole lot. Might be coming here pretty soon. A little worried about that. If you help me with them, just stand a line, take guard, don't, give them a little bit of rough and tumble so that I don't get a bit of a rough and tumble. Then,
Rough and tumble.
You want to fight?
Preacher man, please. Look. I would rather that you keep them from putting knives through my skull.
Oh no, that of course, but I hope you do not expect us to spill blood.
Oh, I'll do whatever needs to be done. I'm at your service.
Whatever you need to do, use your own methods. I'm not gonna dictate how you go about your business. Just make sure that their business, as in the business end of their blades, doesn't end up in my business.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they need a sword in their gut. What can I say?
Tarina just gestures at Gus like, see? Words of wisdom.
As much as I admire all of your personalities, you are far, far too quick to the blade.
We'll find the method that suits best for the situation. I think we can all agree upon that.
Hey, I'm not in the position of picking fights. I'm just, I don't want to die. And I'd rather kill someone than be killed,
Mm-hmm.
A perfectly reasonable position that we both share.
Correct.
All right. Well, in that case, I'll stick around here. You wait wherever you want. Somewhere that, I don't know, up here, down there, it doesn't really matter to me. Just make sure they don't get to me. They're not a subtle group. I'm sure you'll see them when they're coming. And she's just like, stick around, I guess. The elf song will happen at some point, probably, maybe. Get a drink, do whatever you want.
Just to be for perfect clarity, as unsubtle as they may be, is there anything we should look for?
Gentleman with one eye. Not so much. Well, he's got both eyes. One of them doesn't work so good though. Kind of a gray, glassy. Might be a little bit of like mold at the edge. Kind of sagging. Real handsome fella.
Does he require medical attention?
A few years ago, probably.
Oh, boy, this is going to be quite a lot of fun now. Don't worry, madam. We will keep you safe.
Thanks. All right, on your way.
All right. I will be outside. I do not know about the rest of you, so I shall see you later. And he'll get up, bow, and leave.
I'm going with the fancy man.
All right. So you stick around for a while, waiting there. Before any conflict happens, the elf spirit does, in fact, start to sing. This is an attraction for the rest of the tavern. So in general, everyone gets quiet. Conversations stop. A lot of people come here specifically for this, so they generally respect a mutual silence while the song goes on. Do any of you know Elvish?
I do.
I don't think I know
No.
languages.
No.
The cat does. All right.
I do not.
The group of you listen. It's a lovely song. It's normally you've been told. Those of you who do understand the history of this establishment understand it to be something of a love song. Lost lovers, lost in time, across space. It's a lovely little morning tone. But as you watch the groups in the tavern who do know Elvish listen, their brows furrow. They become confused, especially the barkeep looks more and more shocked as the song goes on. And it's apparent that this is not the song that is normally sung. Perhaps in the first time ever that this has been a new song. Advocat, I have a series of lyrics that I'm going to be sending you.
Goody goody.
I was going to sing them, and then I didn't.
I have 3 languages. Only one will be useful. I lied too. Common is
I
useful.
only actually have one language, and that's Lobstone.
Yeah, I just
Think
said
I'm-
Draconic and Draconic.
I have Draconic,
Common, Elvish, Infernal. Yeah,
Secrets.
that's what I know.
Nice.
Sanguin, boy secrets.
Yep.
I love that you went French.
It's fairly long.
Oh, absolutely.
It's 3 stanzas. If you would like, you may share this with others. You can keep this a secret for now. If you would like to discuss it immediately, please do so. Otherwise, we can move on and talk about it shortly hereafter.
Can I have a moment to read it all
Absolutely. While you do that, I will describe the rest of the tavern. The tavern continues to react oddly. There's murmurs and little bits of discussion around the song itself. It was quite beautiful. It was well sung. And it was kind of lovely how the voice simply kind of apparated from nowhere and managed to fill the whole room rather acoustically pleasantly.
As a spirit, you said.
Yes, it is a spirit.
May I do a...
Absolutely. What would you like to do?
I would like to walk up to the barkeep and kind of like give him a look and be like, why does everybody look so distressed?
He kind of stutters for a moment and is just like, that's not the song. Trust me, buddy, I've owned this place for 30 years. 30 years. 3 decades.
That's as long as I've been alive.
That's impressive. Congratulations. But the song's always the same. It's a lovely thing. It's a lovely little piece of melancholy, love, the kind of thing that keeps people coming back. This was not that song. The singer, it's hard. I'm trying to remember what they were saying, but they mentioned. I thought she sang the word Hell Riders. That's.
Well,
it's very odd. I don't know what that means.
Maybe it's being intoned since. Well, maybe
Barnaby will stand up and say, I know what the Hell Riders are. Or at least... What can you give me a short description of what I would know as? You're
familiar. So the Hell Riders, as you know, are a group of warriors, some of varying degrees, of fairly heightened degrees, that are trained specifically for the purpose of defending El Terrell.
Yeah. Okay, I think the Hell Riders are not from here. They are from where I come from. They are from El Terrell. My order, the Order of the Companions, we are a sort of, we cooperate with the city, we cooperate and operate alongside the City Watch. The Hell Riders, though, they are somewhere above all of us, perhaps.
If you would like to, you can make a history check.
Yes. I would very much like to do that. 2.
So that isn't that one.
Nice.
I can.
Wonderful bar songs. Wonderful bar songs about Outriders.
Yeah.
Lots of fucking in all of them. Weirdly, like all of them.
There are a lot of songs told about. There are a lot of songs in the bars about them. Many of them whose lyrics I would rather not repeat as of now, due to their content, very racy in nature. But what I know, they operate rather close to the nobles. If I remember, we were talking about this earlier, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, Advocate, are you good?
Yes. I'm just kind of listening to the conversation as it goes.
All right.
Sipping a drink.
In that case, a very burly man kicks in the door, and accompanied by an amount of ruffians, let's say, scoundrels, clearly sailors, as they smell strongly of salt and rotting fish. And the one with a bit of a misty, foggy eye steps forward and says, "Looking for a girl named Tarina? Loves to cheat at Bloody Bones? We got business."
Barnaby will stand up. Whatever business you have, I assure you that it does not require such a dour tone.
Ah, so you know her. Steps forward and, socks you in the side of the mouth. At this point, a brawl ensues.
Yeah, in the commotion, Gus is going to, slip back and go into stealth, kind
At
of.
this point, there's a certain thing I would like to do, if possible.
Sure, I'm going to keep this moving pretty quick. We're not actually going to play out this fight.
Yeah.
We can have some stuff.
Yeah. Essentially, this is what I'm... Can I do something?
Very quickly.
Okay. I'd like to use Champions Channel Divinity, Champions Challenge. As a bonus action, each creature within me must make a Wisdom saving throw, or wait, is this the right one?
Do you just want to brawl him? Like, do you want to make this a duel, effectively? Very quickly. I want to keep this moving.
Yes, essentially, nobody can move 30 feet away from me.
So you're like locking Deadeye into this like embrace, I guess, or this fight.
And I'm trying to essentially take control of the situation. Is what I'm trying to do.
Trying to do what?
Trying to take control of the situation, get rid of the aggressor, and then try to maybe quell everybody else if possible.
I mean, that'd be a great idea, except for the other 7 people also starting to just like wreak havoc.
Yeah, good point.
It's a bar.
Yeah, it sure does turn into a bar fight very quickly, and by very quickly we mean instantaneously. But luckily, you're pretty handy in a bar fight. There may be knives drawn, there may be blood drawn. This probably isn't a particularly graceful bar fight, whether drawn by you or otherwise. But at the end of the day, you're standing and they're not. But you have
wipes a dagger with a handkerchief very daintily.
reasonable.
Arliss does the same.
In sync. Complement each other's.
It's like a subtle
Linens.
nod of the head towards Avocad. Oh,
So
Such technique.
afterward,
lovely.
you can head back upstairs and speak with Tarina. She's like, "Good job, punching out some pirates. Might be
I
fun."
do not want to. Let it be known.
We know.
How sanctimonious.
Well, that's why I didn't throw a punch, not one.
Oh, darling. Is
He's
that
kind
why
of
I
nursing
took one or
his jaw
two?
right now.
Yeah.
You owe me now.
Yes, I suppose I do. So, you're looking for the dead 3. I know where they are. There's a bathhouse north of here. Long time ago, there's sewers all over the city. And as such, the bathhouse has several beneath it as well. I've seen, on good word, a decent number of these dead 3 cultists coming in and out of that particular bathhouse. So I'm certain if you head there, do some investigation, they'll come up. Understood?
Understood.
Sounds like a plan.
Extends a hand to shake.
I'll take it.
5 hands all like reach at the same time.
Just like...
Wonderful. Well, I'll be on my way. Thank you very kindly, folks. And she traipses out of the tavern. So, now with this new lead, it's time to shake down a hideout and see if any cultists fall out. Who wants to go raid a bathhouse?
I'm
Oh,
ready.
this is
I
my
do.
favorite activity.
Yeah.
All right. So,
For it.
sounds like pretty much everyone's going.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, could I have a side conversation real quick?
Hello. Yep.
With Eli, specifically. So give me a hot sec.
Oh. Okay.
Cat, quit. No.
Kitty.
No.
I don't know what's in the recording or not, so
It's just me berating Bolt for a good
Yeah.
5 minutes because he's
that's why I'm like, I
Being
don't want to leave
naughty.
it silent here, but
Stop
it might be
being
recording their
stop being
end.
Naughty.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm
No.
gonna become best friends and worst enemies with half the campaign now. I can already tell.
I love the idea of us being like
Noble bros.
sort of, but also with an air of like deception behind it, like
You both.
like constantly watching each other as like like friendship on the outside, frenemies on the inside.
You secretly want to be better than the other.
All right, we're good.
Advocate has no friends. Anyways,
Yeah, let's go raid a bathhouse.
Nice.
The bathhouse itself is very nice. It is well carved. There are these beautiful nymphs carved on the outside. It's got a neat little courtyard. There's lots of people inside of it. And you have been given the authority of the Flaming Fist to knock down some doors and see what comes out. What's your approach like?
Front door.
Front door?
We open it. We declare. What is the cult's name again?
The Cult of the Dead 3.
Members of the Dead 3.
oh my goodness.
The law hath cometh for you.
Oh, this was a bad idea.
Present yourself before it, and perhaps you may be judged. You may be judged fairly but justly.
Haha, that's such a good joke, Barnaby.
All right.
What a good jest.
Eli,
really in good taste.
I would like you to take a point of inspiration.
Who's taking that point?
Eli.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
It's literally everyone in the back
Beautiful,
is like, oh.
beautiful, wonderful.
Can I please pat Barnaby on the shoulder and be like, oh Barnaby, that was not a good plan. You should have discussed this with us before you kicked down the door and started. They're getting up. They look angry.
I thought we were all in agreement that this had to be stopped. Do we not agree on this?
Oh, foreigners are so funny.
Yes, hilarious. This is an absolute riot.
This is something.
The receptionist looks very confused. But is like, sure. Would you like the one bath package or the bath and also the perfume package?
I only wish that we can enjoy such luxuries at the time. Unfortunately, we cannot.
I fully intend to. I don't know what he's talking about. Please.
Sure. That's silver and 2 copper for just
Done.
the bath. All right, wonderful. Right this way. And leads you
Do
in.
you have any saunas? I like to sweat.
I'm gonna literally, I hate this. I hate this so much.
Gus, I would also like you to take inspiration.
Oh my god.
That's wonderful. This is wonderful. I love you all very much. I'm going to shorthand this into you all managed to cover for Barnaby very well somehow. And you do manage to infiltrate the bathhouse itself, if, albeit, rather unstealthily. But after an amount of exploration and maybe a perfumed bath or two, you manage to find a side room with a trapdoor leading downward into the sewers themselves. What is presented to you is not a pleasant location. The foul, flooded tunnels and dank chambers. It is not a fun time. As you continue exploring through it, you see altars with bodies on them, sometimes stacks of bones, skulls hanging on chains. You spot a couple of prisoners that I would assume, either let free or find to be deceased. If you would like an inspiration, you may also describe a terrible horror experienced while in the Dungeon of the Dead 3.
Oh, I had a question. But,
Absolutely.
is there any, like, artifacts for this cult or anything that symbolizes, like, a symbol?
All
or
over the
even
place.
Pattern? Is
They're
it possible to grab
everywhere.
a few?
Absolutely. So there are 3 different types there is to Bahal, to Miracle, and then to the other one.
Mind sending that to me? Because I don't know how to spell anything.
Yeah, Bane, Bahal, and Miracle. Here, Bane,
Thanks, B.
Bahal, and Miracle, which are the three of the dead three. They are a trio of gods that are not good. They're not ideal. They're pretty unfortunate. And you do encounter a number of cultists in the den too, which I would assume you take swift care of.
I fully intend to.
Unfortunately, this is a much less of a brawl and much more of a fight. This is unfortunate on both sides. They have necromancers and casters and sickly curved daggers, and they're not happy that you've found their hideout. Particularly harrowing is you have an encounter with a necromancer bearing a skull hanging on a chain which has been painted in fresh blood. That is particularly not a particularly gruesome fight between the groups of you. But yes,
For flavor, are there rats in the sewer?
there are if you want them to be.
Are you gonna eat a rat?
Give me a moment. Are there?
Oh my god!
What is it called when their tails are all together? A rat.
A rat king.
I find one of those.
Okay.
I use it as a weapon and
All right.
also as a snack.
Both dual purpose.
People eat. It's just eating the evidence. I love it.
You know, creative. Yeah, you get your points of inspiration. For helping describe a horror of the although maybe a self-created horror.
May I describe a horror?
You may describe a horror.
I think he says this out loud. I think one of the greatest horrors of this is the stench. Luckily, I've bathed myself in lavender.
Fortunate.
You can smell nothing but lavender, probably for the next day. I want it because you just smother yourself in it before. I imagine you start down the tunnel and you're just nope, and run back up to the baths, just pour a jar of lavender over your head and then go back down the stairs.
An entire thing of lavender essential oils on you.
Yeah,
No,
wonderful.
the greatest tragedy is this hole in my suit, especially for this trip.
It's jagged. It's going to be annoying to sew. It's very frustrating.
Does anyone know mending?
I'm sorry. I unfortunately don't. I have a friend who I can possibly introduce you to if you want. Very good seamster, I must say.
I'm sure they're lovely.
All right. So, while you are wandering through the Dungeon of the Dead 3, you you come upon a human man, large, hulking thing with a big club of wood, fighting off one of the hooded cultists who is bearing two curved daggers at him. It appears there are two other would-be assassins that have already been felled into the river. But the in addition to their dispatchment, as soon as you all approach, the third attacker notices you and flees into the darkness. The human turns to you, revealing that half of his face has been somewhat severely scarred, probably long past, and thanks you profoundly for arriving, whether you acted in his favor or not. He kind of eyes you all and is just like, I've been betrayed. I need to get out of here.
Would you like to elaborate?
Not particularly. I need desperately to leave this place as soon as possible.
Well, I mean, we could show you the way we got in here. I don't know if there's a better way out, though.
That would be very much appreciated. Though, if you will come with me, I'm not certain I'll be able to get out of here myself.
Insight.
Sure.
I don't like this already for some reason.
A secondary location.
17?
You don't like this, and it was a 17?
Yeah. I said I don't like his attitude.
Oh, yeah. So, he did introduce with, I've been betrayed, and he is down here. Meaning that you can tell he definitely has some connection to what was going on down here. Though he's been pointedly avoiding the subject so far.
Now, monsieur, if you could tell me a little more, I would be happy to show you where.
We could start with
Just a bit.
names.
Mortlock.
Mortlock.
Mortlock Van Thamper. I come from a somewhat influential family. Those of you who are either involved in the nobility or are from Sanguin know that Thalamra Van Thamper is one of the 4 head dukes of Sanguin.
Oh, Jesus.
Goodness.
And why would one of such noble birth be down here?
Points at his face. I'm not very well appreciated by my family. I'll admit, I have made mistakes on my way of getting here, but my brothers conspired to have me killed.
What mistakes?
Well, I may have been assisting certain groups in the immediate vicinity, for the benefit of my kin.
Son, honesty is important, and it is not only important, it is sacred. So I suggest before this
brother.
Paladin of Torm, you tell the absolute truth, such that you may be forgiven and you may be judged justly.
Give me an intimidation check. With advantage. Well, no, I won't say with advantage.
Well,
I mean,
This is a tough individual. You may use your inspiration if you want.
Yeah, I'm giving myself inspiration. Well,
You
I'm not giving
use it
my own.
as desired.
So, let's see. That is. All right. Sorry, let me. I'm having trouble with the D&D Beyond thing.
I'll let you know that's good enough.
Okay. It's like
it's flat 16 plus whatever you've got or minus whatever you've got is enough.
yeah. It's like a 20.
Yeah. Jesus.
God.
Charisma?
Charisma plus proficiency.
Proficiency in intimidation is extremely good for a paladin.
Oh, yes.
Fine. Promise me you'll at least arrest me. Don't let me die.
Son, that is what my job is.
All right, fine. My mother was paying the dead 3, these brigands, to cause havoc, so that the people responsible for the leaders, the dukes, will distrust the Flaming Fist's ability to keep the peace. The point is to strike fear. It's just she wants a older Ravensguard's gone and she wants a peace.
You have been led astray.
I know. I understand, and I'm very sorry.
I don't think dog eyes.
I hope you are. He seems very disappointed in this man.
Yeah, my mother's one of the 3 remaining dukes of the city, and with Older gone and the Flaming Fist beheaded, she wants to take control as best she can. Now,
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you just say the flaming beast beheaded?
Flaming Fist beheaded.
Oh.
The organization. I thought you were. Did I?
No, my ears are just garbage, my friend.
Oh. It might also be the sewage.
That doesn't help.
Definitely the sewage.
My nose
I
ears
can-
are plugged
I can-
with lavender. It's
I
very
can.
hard to feel.
I can help you though. My brothers, one of them runs a money lending business on a boat down at the docks, and the others hold up in our villa. But I'm sure they'll have proof that you can use to get what you need. Most of the leaders here were, most of the people you've rightfully taken care of here were leaders of the cults. So without their guidance, I'm certain the cults themselves will fall, but that will not end the problems of Sanguin.
Now it seems your problems are many. This goes much deeper than I originally.
Very much so, unfortunately.
There isn't a savory type in Sanguin. There
Unfortunate.
truly isn't.
I believe the people here are good at heart. It is simply circumstance.
Oh, darling. Well, I think
there
we
are
have
good
a wrap.
people here, Barnaby.
Yeah, don't you think I'm a good person?
My friend,
You and I,
you
monsieur.
may be a diamond in the rough, but you have the largest heart for such a small creature, and he will pat you on the head with his trunk.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
knew it.
have done
I
that.
knew you liked me.
Wonderful. All right. Additionally, as you explore further, you find crates. This ornately carved stone chest with these kind of sigils and things on the outside, in which is contained a number of jewels far in excess of value of 1,000 gold.
Grab,
Oh my.
grab.
Yes.
Barnaby will slam his hammer on the ground. I know what you all are thinking, and I can tell. And I ask of you patience.
They're clearly stolen.
What? Yeah. While he's saying that, Gus is like shoveling.
He's like putting stuff into his pockets.
Gus, no,
Gus is like
Gus.
chin deep. Like-
This belongs to the people as a whole.
This
Perhaps if we can,
belongs to me now. Okay.
I understand that perhaps there are circumstances
It's in
about your life that
my
I do not
pockets,
know, but this is not.
So
the
it
end.
belongs to me. You got a problem?
We will discuss this
If-
later.
If I might make a suggestion, there is a way to resolve this. How about an agreement between all of us? We've all done ample work, I think. Some goes back to the city, some goes towards our efforts.
Like
Towards-
payment.
You could say that.
And I assume we will be informing the
I just
captain
want my money.
of this payment that we are taking as a bonus of sorts. We will.
I don't see why we need to do anything so noble as that.
Irrational.
We simply say, oh, there are only 400 gold pieces left. I don't know why, but that's the case.
400.
Listen,
You
At
gotta
this
look
point,
out for number one.
in the interest of keeping things moving, I would just like to know who takes things and who does not.
I take.
Yes.
Pig.
Barnaby.
Is it everyone except Barnaby?
Barnaby will take what's left. Will take what's left with the intention of turning it over.
Okay, interesting.
I'm only
Cool.
keeping gems.
He will
though.
not sell out his companions, but
Yeah,
he does not
anything-
particularly feel good.
Gotcha.
Advocate
want
is also
shiny.
taking a portion with the intention of giving some of it away.
Gus,
Gus wants shiny.
you recognize the style of these artifacts.
Ooh.
That's all I'll say for that.
Hey guys, I think I've seen these. I don't know where, but they look familiar.
more familiar as you exit the
you,
dungeon,
yes.
as you are confronted by a, I was going to say pentacle, which is technically the correct term, but a group of 5 individuals wearing dark robes in masks that give them a somewhat dragon-like appearance.
My.
Now, at this point, you're all pretty worn down. You've been through this whole dungeon. It's been several pretty intense combat encounters involved, and they point long daggers and short swords curved, something in the vein of dragon talons at you, and demand that you surrender the treasure, for it was not the dead three's to take.
But it's yours to take.
Barnaby will level his hammer. Announce yourselves and who you are.
This belongs to us, and we can prove it.
Would you be willing to prove it under the compulsion of my Lord Torm?
Absolutely.
Zone of truth.
All right. They willingly submit to it. And they inform you that this belongs to our patron, and we intend to bring it back to her.
Who? Who is your patron?
Beyond your scope.
Hey, are you calling me stupid?
I will, Barnaby.
And they are absolutely telling the truth.
Barnaby will slowly hand over his portion and say, I will agree to this because it is the law, but I must tell you, as much as I do not mean to offend, your appearance betrays your honesty.
Luckily, you won't have to look at us for much longer.
Fine, you can have my money that I rightfully took. I'm not going to be happy about it.
May I suggest a sort of payment for services rendered? I know that you didn't hire us, but we did do all of the hard work getting it.
This is very true.
I'm
fine.
My knee hurts.
Roll a persuasion check very quickly. You succeeded.
Persuasion check.
Can I assist or no?
Sure.
Cool. Advantage.
The capitalists assemble.
So that is
I want to hand over my gems, man.
Yeah, 16.
16?
Yeah.
While our trade is that you are not simply bled out afterward, we will give you some in return, but not of this. We will pay you in coin, but not these. These must be ours.
Are they still under the zone of truth?
Yes. They're telling the truth?
Can I get like a good look at one of the coins?
That they're offering you, or that you have?
No, that I picked up.
Absolutely.
19.
What does that roll?
22 to insight. Well, I don't know if insight's the right thing.
You're trying to discern an intention?
Well, more so I want to figure out what the fuck these gems are for.
So, how much did you get on that insight check?
It was like 22. It was 19
22.
on the die.
Okay. So, you notice this too, Gus, as you're kind of looking at it, is a non-zero number. A lot of the treasure bears faintly draconic iconography. The coins have a curved claw on one end and an eye on the other. And most of the gems are either fashioned in the shape of teeth or scales or rings sized for creatures, etc.
I sent you a PM.
Yep.
I was gonna say, can Advocat whisper to one of the cloaked figures?
Sure, but you are in front of everyone else.
Did you guys submit to the zone of truth, by the way?
Sure.
Well, I don't know if you...
Sure.
I would have no reason.
Whoever
not to.
wants to.
I don't want to, but
Yeah, same. Gus did not, but yeah, he.
Considering the information that they have given me, Garillo like has inspected it and just sets it down. He doesn't do anything else. He just sets it down.
Yeah, Gus just like dumps all the shit out of his pockets and his arms fold and he takes a step back.
can I
Please have more respect. Place him in this basket.
can I try keeping one for myself? Is it possible?
So, you then intend to give it back? So, if you then give the treasure toward the individuals, but keep some from yourself, they know and they can tell. And
Even if it's just a single coin.
Yes.
Yeah. After whispering to the person in the cloak, yeah, Advocate readily like turns out his pockets. It's just like handing it all over. Say no more. It's yours.
Everybody, just place your gems back in this box here.
All right, you win, and he'll put like the box that he found on.
Sure. All right, we will be on our way then. They toss a pouch of coins onto the ground between you, and then vanish off into the night with the chest.
Unfortunate. Oh, I would have loved to study that.
Sadly, it's certainly taken. I would not want to steal from what they are dealing with.
Can I count the coins in the bag?
Yes, there is 100
100?
to split between all of you.
All right, I'll do the even split. So 20 to each.
Hooray.
Let me go ahead.
Meow, shut up.
I don't think I had.
Yeah, Gus just like takes it. He's kind of sulking or he's pouting.
Salty.
He's a pouting boy.
All right.
If this goes as deep as I think it goes, there will be ample opportunity to gather more coin.
So, having more or less dismantled the cult, you now have been presented with a greater danger to Sanguin as a whole. Though it may be difficult to convince Captain Zaj that you've got enough evidence to actually do something about it. So, it may be a good idea to head to the Low Lantern, a ship establishment wherein Amric Van Thamper does his business. If you would like to attempt to get enough information out of him, or at least some leverage to be able to attack the Van Thamper's life points directly. What would you like to do?
Isn't there also a place in their estate as it is? Like there's another lead inside the estate?
Yes, you could also head to the estate immediately, but this would be a big move.
Let's start small.
Okay.
Well, you need to give me space, please. Give me space. No.
So,
Boat then? To
yes.
the dock?
The Low Lantern is it's an establishment that attracts those with enough money to lose it, and people who like the scent of stale ale and gambling. It is both a gambling house and tap room, and Amric operates a loaning business out of the one of the upper decks. Now, at first, he assumes that you've all come to take out a loan, as that is his typical form of business, though it becomes, I assume, immediately clear that this is not the case. He is a slippery one, hard to talk to and hard to get to say anything. Very quick-witted as it comes to attempting to squeeze any kind of confession out of him. But at a show of force, he'll go with you and cooperate. Though he will still avoid saying anything to incriminate either himself or his family. When approached about blame for the cults, he will firmly plant all of the blame on Mortlock, saying that Mortlock has been associating with the lower folk for longer than he can imagine, and that he's just an adult who didn't know better in the first place. Upon sorry, I'm checking my notes. Upon exiting either with... How would you like to handle this? You may...
Handle what specifically?
You may either, so this encounter with Emmerich, you may leave him be, though he knows of your suspicions, or you can attempt to take him with him. You could kill him, though he does have friends in very high places.
Let's not.
We can't just... We're not just gonna leave him be, are we?
I have an idea. I am suddenly 20 coins heavier. I don't mind being 20 coins lighter. I'm going to try and bribe him into telling us more information.
Pocket change.
Oh,
What if I could promise you more? Call this an investment in good faith.
My friend, I work in the loans business. I know when someone doesn't intend to pay.
oh.
I think he got you with that. I'm just
Yes, I see that.
Do I wanna
Well, if
try
not money-
intimidation?
What about favors, then?
What sort? What can you offer?
I can do many things. I can pull strings. I can...
The vagaries do not become you.
Listen, I have ties in high places as well. I am an ambassador from New Kyla. You know, the shining city. There's
familiar.
plenty there. Anything you want, it can be made yours. You just have to speak it.
Is this offer genuine?
Sort of.
Asterisk.
Then tell me, the GM, what you intend to actually pay out of this. If he asks for anything, I doubt you're not going to give it to him, right? But up to
Almost certainly, the advocate is not going to follow.
follow through on this. All right, then I would like you to make a deception check.
Perfect.
I believe you do have inspiration if you would like, because I'm going to let you know ahead of time. This is
I don't
not
have
going to be
inspiration
easy.
yet,
Oh,
but
do you
that's
not?
okay. I don't need it.
I mean,
I don't
sure.
think I need it.
18 is your DC?
19.
19, just barely.
Ooh.
He gives you an
Nice.
eye. Very raised eyebrow. And then a long sigh followed by, well, always helps to make friends in high places, I suppose.
That's how I like to think of it.
What do you, pointedly looks at you and then glares at the rest of the folks around, need to know?
First of all, the truth. We need to know the significance and your role in this debacle with the cult of the Dead Three.
My mother's paying them. For why? It's not my trifle. I assume for some gain. And paying with money that I don't believe is hers either. But there's a vacuum in Sanguin, and she wishes to fill it.
Very well.
If you do talk to her, leave my name out of it.
That can be done. Is anyone else involved?
In the cults? Other than the cults themselves and Mortlock. My other brother, perhaps. Thirstwell. Though I barely understand what he does in his tower all day. He's a recluse.
He has a tower.
Oops.
Yes. He sure does have a tower. It's at the villa. It's quite dingy and dark. It's unseemly.
Any ideas of what he's doing up there?
Spying, likely. Observing. Waiting. Too
For?
cowardly to do anything himself, but wants to know what we are doing. He might know what we're doing right now.
Very well. Is he someone to be reached, or will that be a problem of its own?
I'm sure if you intend to uproot my mother, he will come with.
See.
Is that enough, then? I have things to do.
I think that should do, unless any of my...
Do I know of, if I may interject, possibly, how much do I know about this Can I make a
The
history
Van
check?
Thampers?
Or at least this person's business in general. Have I-
Given that you're from Elturel, very little.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
If you want to roll history, you can, but you'll have disadvantage.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, alright. Satisfied?
I believe so.
Wonderful. I'll leave before I lose more business because of you.
Just so you know who to call upon to cash in on your favors. And the advocate pulls out a little notebook of sorts and kind of writes down some information. You'll know how to get in touch.
I'm sure. Because that's it.
Ta.
Ta-ta. As you move to exit the Low Lantern, the lot of you, you are approached by a cloaked figure, armor clanking with every step toward you, until they get near enough that they unhood themselves, revealing a fairly young woman cast in armor with a freckled face and auburn red hair. She introduces herself. Her name is Rhea Mantlemorn. And she's hoping that you can be of some assistance. Rhea was at off-site training somewhat north of Elturel when it was destroyed. She saw it fall, specifically.
Barnaby is very distressed by this. Tell me everything you saw, please.
What she saw was the companion slowly turn from bright to dark, turning into a ball of black energy, beginning to strike lightning down across the city as it seemed to simply sink into the horizon and then disappear.
I knew it. I knew that ball was insidious from the beginning.
Insidious? You don't know what that means. You don't know what that could possibly mean. It could have been afflicted. It could have been anything. It doesn't mean it's turned on us. It's impossible.
Let us not all fly into a tizzy. Let us hear the girl out.
Yeah.
I just understand that you are investigating in some manner or another. The Van Thamper family. I am looking for Thavius Krieg. those of you who are from Elturel, and most of you, everyone should know, Thavius Krieg is the self-appointed leader of Elturel. Thought to have been disappeared with the rest of the city. But Rhea claims that she's seen Thavius Krieg in the protection of the Van Thamper family.
But why?
Are you sure that
I know not. I assume he's been captured or connived or something. I don't understand. But I assume that you all may be able to assist, as you seem to have done a fairly reasonable job of carving your way through the rest of this rat-ridden city. You can tell she's not a big fan of Sanguin.
Well, okay.
I don't know about the rest, but
Rats
I would
have their charms.
Rats are quite charming, actually. Make good pets.
very much
Good companions, absolutely.
much kinder than they appear to be.
Yeah, Gus turns to Arliss. I think she called me a rat.
Bonjour, Gus. You are not. I promise.
Oh, I say
I know
lean
You
you
are
into it.
believe in
so
me.
much more.
I know.
My dear friend.
All I'm asking is some help. I'm new to the city.
I can tell.
I'm a Hell Rider. I'm from Elturel.
Yellow.
Well, Barnaby will offer us a salute to Barnaby Dawes of the Order of Companions at your service.
Nice to see a fellow Elturgadian.
And it's nice to see you as well. I wish we could meet under better circumstances.
Yes, advocate of an ambassador of New Kyla. My condolences from my city to yours.
Appreciated.
My name is Gus, and I'm from here.
Hi, Gus. Nice to meet you. I would also appreciate it if you weren't to tell any... Are you familiar with the Flaming Fist?
No, not at all.
Never heard of them.
Urila's just wide-eyed, like, do I fall in line?
Is there a problem?
There was an unfortunate encounter when I first entered the city, and I am not in good standing with them.
Sister, you couldn't have broken any laws, would you?
And a few bones, actually.
You fit in with our great city
It
so
was a
well.
misunderstanding.
A misunderstanding,
I
sister.
apologize. I was protecting the group of refugees I was traveling with from a member of the Flaming Fist, and they may have put out a bounty on my head. But
would
I
you-
promise
Hypothetically,
it
okay.
wasn't
Would you give me the name of this one?
Hypothetically.
the who.
Of this Flaming Fist. Do you know anything about it?
I didn't catch a name, only the yells.
Rest
How
assured.
barbaric.
Well, Lady Rhea, I must inform you. We are working... Well, we were conscripted by them.
Ah! And she draws her sword and it's just immediate
Wait,
defensive stance.
Wait. Wait. I mean you no harm. We are brethren. Please sheathe your sword.
She looks very uncertain, and then slowly sheathes the broadsword.
I'm fairly certain that if you were to join us in this, well, to be honest, whatever the fuck we're doing, we would be able to get the bounty issue cleared up and your name cleared and all of that.
It's just a single gold. It's not even that much.
Arliss looks disappointed.
It's really not.
That's unbecoming of your station to have a bounty of 1 gold, please.
I
How
don't
impressive.
know how to feel about that statement you just made, but if that is an offer of assistance, I will gladly accept.
Let me put this in simpler terms than my compatriots here. We have no interest in turning you. For
Precisely.
Looks
goal-
visibly relieved.
your goal is similar to ours.
It
That's
is,
all?
I believe.
So, why would we go and, metaphorically, of course, stab you in the back?
I
Sorry, it's a saying around.
appreciate this view. All right, well then I guess we should get off this boat.
Absolutely. After you, madam.
Will do. Would anyone like to play Rhea Mantlemorn?
Ooh. Hmm.
Oh.
I
I'll
might
do
be a
it.
bit. Oh, sorry.
I can do it.
You do it? All right. I've got some extra reading
No,
if you want.
Just toss whatever you think is relevant.
Yeah, I don't want you to do it
Private.
right now, though.
Oh,
But all you need to know for Rhea is she's from Elturel. She's a Hellrider, trained as a guardian of Elturel. And she really cares. She's a very good person. Like she's your kind of very very typical hero. But she's particularly interested in finding Thavius Krieg, who she assumes to be like in peril effectively. She assumes that Thavius Krieg is being held or otherwise like impressed. And
Sort of, kind of, like, lawful good holy type, almost.
absolutely.
Okay.
A little bit more
It's just...
a little bit more down to earth than that.
Yeah, I got it.
But like cares a lot about like what's going on.
Non-chaotic Dahlia, let's go.
That's that's a pretty decent read.
I got it.
If you care about stats, she's using the veteran stat block.
Oh, damn it. Okay, yeah. Let me just pull that up, just to be safe.
You shouldn't
Just
need it, but all right. It's in D&D Beyond if you want to check on
Yeah,
that.
I'm just quickly doing...
So, the lot of you, with the assistance of Rhea, head to Van Thamper Villa now that you have enough information to perhaps close in on this deal and understand what may be going on. The first problem, though, is that there are a number of guards patrolling the exterior at all times.
What is Lady
And-
Van Thamper's name again?
Thalmara. Although most simply call her Duke Van Thamper.
What's the last name?
Van Thamper. I can put it in the chat.
Perfect.
Duke.
I like having good notes. Because I can't spell. You know how...
This one is particularly heinous.
Oh, what the...
Oh, that's not at all what I thought it was. Okay.
Oh,
Duke Thalamra Van Thamper.
I didn't do the first name right, but I did the last name.
No, I wasn't even close. I'm not going to correct it. That is what that is.
You're gonna go in and be like, Ms. Van Famther.
Miss Lathander.
So you can attempt to sneak past the guards, fight the guards, or talk past the guards.
Can I
Sneaky, sneaky.
Gus
Gus is gonna
something?
sneak by.
Can I?
I
Barnaby's going to try and talk to them.
Would you like to attempt to talk to them and then notice that your companions are using your conversation as a distraction with which to sneak into the villa?
Precisely. If everybody else is
Either
okay
intentionally or otherwise.
yes. If everybody else is okay with that.
Yeah.
That's
I
that
can
was
just
gonna
run
be-
here that way, where it's like, hey, guy. Huh?
Advocat, would you like to assist your elephanty friend, or are you going to sneak in with the rest?
can I assist?
am worried, so I will stay behind and help
I sneak in.
Barnaby in his efforts.
Barnaby really is.
If
everyone-
Barnaby's words won't do the trick, then Advocate's coin might. It's
That's
just kind
reasonable.
of the.
All right, everyone who's sneaking, go ahead and roll stealth checks. Shoot your shot, Elephant
Shall I
Man.
do separate for Arliss and Raya?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Good morrow, good sirs. May I have a word with you? Just a moment, please.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I am Barnaby Dawes. I currently of the Holy Order of the Companions. Currently representing the Flaming Fist. I hate to bother you, but there is very important detail. There are very important, sensitive topics that we need to discuss with Duke Thalmor Van Thamper.
You do not have an appointment.
No, we do not. But we assure you that that it concerns her family, its safety, and the safety of the city itself.
The guard looks unimpressed.
Well, my friend doesn't have an appointment. I do. Hello, I'm Advocate, an ambassador from New Kyla. I actually have business to conduct with Lady Vamper.
This is not true, correct? This is a GM question?
Definitely not true.
Okay.
This is a straight up lie.
This is just a lie. Okay. So,
Can
I will let you decide. Either Barnaby rolls persuasion with advantage, or Advocate rolls deception with advantage.
If I may, I'd like to assist Advocate because I mistakenly think you have set up something. Like
Wonderful.
That's
All right,
like,
awesome.
oh.
It's kind of funny.
Advocate, go ahead and roll deception with advantage. So,
wonderful.
Barnaby, you just believe that this Advocate is telling the truth.
Oh, yes. I mean, he's a man of many means.
Wonderful.
Can I do
Very
better?
good.
I can do better.
GG.
Okay, hold on. Get my.
All right, the rest of you managed to sneak in effectively.
Nice.
That is a 21.
The guard furrows his brow and pulls out a small notebook and checks a list, and then kind of like thumbs a page and looks kind of furrowed and is just like,
So it was a bit last minute. So I'm sorry
suppose.
if you're.
Do be careful though. It is late, and if this is the Duke is not does not take kindly to such.
We will be sure to be cordial and as polite as the situation demands.
Absolutely. We come in complete respect of.
All right, well, on in then.
Get that out of your cat.
Right.
Bolt.
I sort of just like give a Advocate a slap on the back. Very resourceful of you. Very resourceful. I did not think you were of such means, but you have impressed me.
Right. Certainly. Let's go.
Wonderful. So, you head inside the villa. What's the plan? You may tell me what your method is. You don't manage to actually find Duke Van Thampoor inside the villa per se.
That's fine by me.
Yes.
Cat,
I
what
have
are you?
something I can do.
Stop! What are you? Stop! Animal. What in the hell?
I can do something.
What would you like to do? How would you like to go about your investigation of the?
Is her room guarded?
The interior of the villa is unguarded.
What?
The interior of the villa is unguarded. Only
Bad.
there's staff, but no like armed guards.
All right. I'm going into her room. I'm planting evidence, man. I'm just gonna straight up frame.
God.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Nice.
I just picked
I will
up
come with you.
a ton of cult merch, man.
Oh, that's so brilliant!
So
You're brilliant!
Big brain.
convenient. Conveniently, there's also a weirdly large amount of already existent, like, devil iconography around the villa. Especially once you get closer to the rooms. You've
Lady after
while
my own
exploring the Advocate, go ahead and roll religion.
Can do.
The the rooms themselves are fairly unadorned, except like they're fairly free
This
of it,
die is doing me so good today.
except
20.
for 20.
Yes.
All right. But you do
Unlike
notice.
Stalder, Advocate fucking rules.
Arliss, you do manage to identify an amount of like weird devil
Yeah.
ephemera in
I deal with oddities. I probably can.
the Duke's room.
Yeah.
You got a 20.
Yes.
You know, so you identify a recurring figure throughout the iconography in the devilish decorations, and it is an angel.
Oh. Odd.
Yes, very much so, especially in the mix of the rest of the devils.
Contradictory.
Yes. Yeah.
Fascinating.
So, you may you do discover Thirstwell's tower as described, as well as Gus. You actually spot a trapdoor in one of the lower sections beneath an ornate rug, leading down into a different area.
I show them all the way in.
I'll accompany Gus for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Anybody?
If people want to go to the tower, I can accompany Gus. Or if we're all going together, I don't know.
Would anyone like to check out Thirstwell's tower?
I'm interested.
All right. Are you going alone? Or your new elephant friend is coming with you?
Your new elephant friend is following you.
Stealthy.
I'd
Subtle.
like to check out the tower.
All right. The three of you head in.
Rose.
You identify one room that looks apparently to be much like, it looks to be Thirstwell's bedchambers, though it is locked when you approach. Though the door does not look particularly strong, all things considered.
If you don't mind putting your back into it, this might suit you better than trying to mince words. Advocate kind of like does a gesture towards the door and takes a step back.
Oh, of course. I'll have it open in a jiffy. Although, do not tell the others that I was breaking into another's room, please.
It will be our little secret.
Okay. I use my trunk alone, which can assert 65 pounds of force.
Crunch. like there's like the door splinters inward.
Yes.
And you see a thin, kind of sickly-looking figure in a dark cloak cowering behind his bed, going like, "Go! Get them!" And you notice a pair of imps, fiendish imps, scurrying along the walls and floor toward you to attack. It is not a difficult encounter to be sure.
Dies.
Yeah,
Imps are so dumb.
I imagine Barnaby just kind of like steps on one.
One like gives Advocate a little scratch and he just like bursts in flames or something like that.
They have this wonderful chitinous exterior that makes them, if lit aflame as suggested, smell something like a crustacean. Bit of a crab fry. And very
Reminds me of home.
satisfying crunch underfoot.
Crunch.
But afterward, after seeing the imp's handy defeat, Thirstwell, cowering behind the bed, goes, "No, I'll do whatever you need."
Like, this is
wonderful.
the Thirstwell.
This is the Thirstwell.
Father Thirstwell?
Father Thirstwell.
Father.
Are you mixing it up with Thavius Krieg?
Oh, sorry, Thavius Krieg, sorry.
Thavius Krieg is a different individual. Thirstwell Van Thamper is the son
Sorry.
of Duke Van Thamper.
Oh, sorry.
He appears to
possible
be
cultist.
hiding an object in his arms that he's really trying to keep you all from seeing.
You say you'll do anything. Please do show us what it is that you're keeping from us.
Honesty is a virtue.
He pulls out what looks to be a cube about 5 or 6 inches aside, with some weird, intricate patterns on each of the ends. It seems to be somewhat handcrafted. It is an odd little device. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Just seems like a box.
Oh, that is a fascinating item.
Yes. And he puts it back into his cloak.
Now, we have some questions that we would like to ask you. We expect you to answer them, and I'm sure you will comply. We will not harm you if that's what you're worried about.
Sure.
Isn't that right, Advocate?
Right.
One of you is definitely lying.
Right. And yeah.
Here's my proposal. We won't harm you if we get what we want. I'm particularly interested in that cube that you have.
The cube.
Fine.
What is
And he
it?
throws it at you.
Oh, and Advocate grabs it. Just a fumble. Yep. Okay.
It's just something that we got from a visitor.
And what would that visitor's name happen to be?
Calibus, I think.
Calibus.
Cavius. Thabacook.
Thavius.
How unhelpful.
Thavius Krieg is describe to
Sounds
me.
familiar.
Describe to me his appearance at once.
Kind of a shorter end human.
Holy aura
kind of
emanating
bald.
from his appearance.
Definitely not.
That can't be right. But does everything else ring
Yeah,
true?
everything else rings correct.
A visitor. Is he here with you now?
I think he's below. He's got like a room somewhere.
And why is he here? Are you keeping him here?
I don't know.
Well, you must surely know something more. You are the son of this noble
No,
house.
he's
Tell
given us
Mom
enough.
stuff.
Give us enough. This is Thavius Krieg. This is the father of our holy land.
We
There
will
was
get
a
down to
summoner
the
of the
bottom of
companion.
this. Listen, Thirstwell. For your compliance, I will keep your best interests in mind. However, you will need to do what you need to do to be safe. I recommend you leave.
Okay. He like eyes you both and like backs out from behind the bed and like keeps watching you as he slowly backs toward the door. And he gets to the door frame, and then he just like runs as soon as he gets to the door frame.
Let us head below stairs, and as I will keep your
To think
secret,
that Thavius Krieg was under our noses the entire time.
listen to me for a second, Barnaby, dear friend.
Yes.
I'm keeping your secret. Advocate holds up the cube. You keep mine. All right? And Advocate pockets it.
So be it.
I made no such agreement. I agree. Let's go downstairs.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Just standing.
Yarla watches. He watches. He always...
I need to really quickly use the bathroom, and then there's not a lot more to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel this coming to an end.
Yes. All right, I'll be right back.
This is about to get really real.
All right, it's sewer boy
no.
time.
Literally,
Sewer boy.
I'll start going down this trapdoor. It's no idea what we're getting into ourselves into.
You're like, okay, what's up? What's good?
Like,
Is it the
just
wine
as we're-
cellar? Oh, we could go for.
Just like cut from the like imp squashing to you three screaming as a bunch of gelatinous cubes are like just chasing after you through a bunch of
God. Yeah, it's just Arliss, Gus, and then Rhea right now. Because I'm just bringing Rhea down.
Yeah.
May as well.
Yeah. And we have to have the one person that can identify this guy, because we both don't know.
Yeah, literally.
No, we don't know. It's just like, oh, some blood died, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I forgot Yarlo was there.
Bruh.
That's good. I think that's what you would want.
I just like the idea that he's just kind of in the back thinking, just always there, just constantly.
Always watching.
I always know.
Yeah.
You may not know that I know, but I will.
And that makes it all the sweeter.
Terrible. My dice tower.
Lurking. Watch. I can't wait until I can cast light behind myself and walk up to somebody
Oh my
and grab
God.
their face.
Oh my god.
Hello.
What's gonna happen?
What? What's gonna happen?
No, you'll find out.
I suppose I will. All right, so under the villa, you immediately are presented with something of a similarity in that you are back in the sewers. Those of you with a keen history will know that Duke Van Thamper actually got her start as leader of the waterways of Sanguin and had much rule over them and understands them better than anyone else. These ones, however, have been somewhat renovated. Unlike the dank, flooded tunnels below the bathhouse, these are quite nice. They're clean, they're lit with torches lining each of the walls, and it's clearly not zoned for this. You, being someone who understands the law, Barnaby, knows that this is not zoned for this kind of construction. Anyway, there are a number of areas that you discover as you explore throughout the areas. You may visit them in any particular order you like. I will give you the options, and you can say who wants to go to what. So you've got a bit of a chapel. You've got a room with a bit like an altar and some ephemera, and you have a small prison. Which would you like to visit first?
Gus wants to go to the small prison.
Small prison.
Barnaby is very interested in the prison and freeing
those inside.
Yes.
All right, that's reasonable. So as you approach, you note that this is well, it's not an ideal scenario. There are a number of cells, not very many, but several. Some of which feature occupants more harrowed than others. Down here you also encounter a number of cultists. Not, however, Dead 3 cultists. These bear different robes, and these wear different robes that bear different sigils.
So they are not. So they may be cultists, but they are not murder cultists necessarily.
Correct. They're not cultists of the murder gods.
Yes.
Well, the murder, the different murder, and the terror murder gods. They like doing murder.
Barnaby is like trying to free as much of them and treat them with as much compassion as you can.
Yeah. So some of them you might have to keep from murdering you. But you managed to wrangle some keys away from one.
Yeah.
In accordance to the prison. When approaching the bars, you do note that one of the cells contains a shortish figure who reveals himself to be a black dragonborn dressed sharply in uniform.
Recognizable uniform?
It appears to be Kylan in nature, as far as you can tell.
No!
What?
Gus speaks in
Who you are?
Draconic to him.
Mhm.
What you in for?
Angering the wrong people, it seems.
You're a long way from home, son.
Yes. Yes, I am. Could you do me a favor?
Of course.
That'd be reasonable.
You seem to be a fellow man of the law yourself.
Sure. I associate with a number of lawful individuals. Yes. Do tell me, have you...
Fumbling with keys.
fumbling with the keys.
With my big meaty hands.
I am looking for a particular set of things. One particular individual, I do believe I saw him come this way. A Thavius Krieg, famous fellow.
Where?
Somewhere in here. I hooded when they brought me down here, so I couldn't quite see the layout of things. But I'm making a reasonable effort at identifying things myself. Apologies, I could not get out of here on my own. I've got some. They gave me a rather embarrassing thrashing on the way in.
Say no more.
Where did you say you were from?
Kyla, north of here.
Oh dear.
I know somebody from Kyla.
Oh,
Gus
wonderful!
was-
I may know them in the thousands of people who occupy the city.
Gus, before he even hears that jab at him, he goes and gets Advocate. I don't know if Advocate was there or not, but
I was imagining Avocat looking around in other rooms, but
Grab, yoink.
yeah, you're right, exactly.
I need you for
grab
something. I need you.
leg. You're like, hey, there's somebody from Kyla over here. I think you should probably talk to him.
Oh,
He's
Advocate
a
will
black
definitely follow.
dragon? I don't know.
oh, my. Okay. Advocate will follow.
All right.
Seems
Still
kind of
fumbling with keys.
Big locks it on hands, just having a hard time picking out the right key. Advocate,
Yes.
you have seen this figure before, though
I imagine
likely
so.
very rarely, given your stature. This figure, however, definitively recognizes you. And says, yes, the emissary. Could you do me a favor? I appear to be under some amount of duress.
It would appear so.
Yes.
Are there any? What is the problem? Are there any keys around? What are you all standing around for? What is?
I'm trying. Maybe you would be better suited for this. My hands are far too big for this.
Here. Okay, we'll just, lock, unlock, go. Boom. Door open.
Thank you. He steps outside and brushes himself off and extends a clawed hand to you, Advocate, and to you, Barnaby.
Firm shake.
Cracks Avros.
Barnaby does.
I appear to be in an amount of trouble, although with your assistance it is less so. Though I do urge you, if you have any, curious items. Thavius brought with him a particular item I am interested in. It is a box, roughly this size. He describes a box of 5 by 6 inches cubic. I'm interested in the man himself, but particularly this item, and looks to each of you in turn.
Barnaby just kind of little bit stiffer than usual.
Gus shrugs and is like, I don't know about any box.
I'm afraid I do not know of which you speak.
Might I ask why?
It is of particular interest to a colleague of mine, one who sent me here in particular. You're from the circles. You may know a Miss Vincula. Is that ringing a bell? How much are you a part of the academic scene in New Kylo?
Probably lesser so than some of the other circles. Advocat is definitely more interested in some of the more like hyper political circles, such as like
Right.
the economic structures and lawmaking. And
Go ahead and roll
whatnot,
history
so.
for me.
Not my best. That's a 13.
Okay. You've heard the name. You know that this is a real person. But you don't really know much about them. But he appears to be genuine.
Okay. The name is familiar, though. I'm not sure of her relevance.
All right. Well, and he gives you all kind of a knowing look. If you find anything of the certain description or any information regarding it, Miss Vincula is more than willing to pay in gold or magical items, as I know you adventurers are so keen on acquiring.
Adventurers, how fanciful.
It's a wonderful term. I fancied myself an adventurer at once. Anyway, it should you so acquire such an item, it may be beneficial for you to arrange a meeting.
I think we will all keep that in mind.
All right. Well, I will be on my way.
Listen, for one of our own, do you require any other assistance? It seems that you may have some difficulty getting back out of the city.
Oh, I've got some supplies elsewhere that will help patch me up a bit. But yes, leaving the city may be a bit of a problem. I'll keep in touch.
I'm sure you will. You are a bit of a legend amongst us.
Oh, I must be losing my touch if people know about me that much. All right.
Safe travels.
Best luck. And then he exits down the hallway. Exit stage left.
I must find Navius.
Yes. So you have the altar room with ephemera and the temple of sorts.
Can I check out the altar?
Sure. So the room is...
Sorry to cut you off.
Absolutely. You did not?
No, you did.
I would also
Oh,
like to follow
sorry.
into the altar room.
Wonderful.
I will follow.
Everyone's... It's a
Everyone
party.
will go to the altar.
We're all gonna get out our
We're all
Bibles.
friends. It's fine.
Sorry.
You manage to encounter along the way, inside, a particularly... How to say... trigger-happy bone devil. A creature that seems to somehow be all edges in every way, who hisses at your approach and attempts to detain you at risk of its own life, which I can only assume ends poorly for the creature.
That's rude of you.
Slash.
Though inside appears to be a bit of a monument, so to say. There is a statue at the far end of the room depicting an angel, as recognized once again by you, Advocat, as the reigning dominant theme of this decoration. They carry a long sword pointed down at the base, and the eyes of the statue glow with this blue light. Around the statue are tapestries depicting various odd otherworldly locations, ghastly figures rising up from a river. This immense knife-like structures floating in the air above orange-red desolated wasteland. It is truly a horrible sight to behold.
Fascinating. How contrarian.
It is a
At the
bit
very-
of a paradox.
Is it?
There is infernal inscribed on the wall for those of you
I
who
wish
can read
to
it.
read. I want to read it.
It simply beholds the text, "That which falls may rise again."
Hi. Something about perhaps fallen angels.
Even the most fallen can be redeemed, no matter how far they've fallen.
We all fall from grace now and
Barnaby kind of, at that, kind of shivers for a moment. Agreed.
Though, this suggests that they rise as something wholly other than what they fell as. At least, that would be my assumption. There's something sinister here. I can't quite place it.
Perhaps
that's
it is
just
the
the city as a
perhaps
whole.
it is the angel amongst a hall of horrors.
Ray is just like, I think it might be the devils.
Yeah.
You know,
You know, maybe.
not all devils are that bad, but
I will agree on this. Torm has taught us much that even the fiendish, no matter what label of fiend, of abyss or infernal, that all are made of the same things. And he starts going on this a little bit of a philosophical
Barnaby.
feel.
I think everyone else like leaves
Monsieur.
while you're talking.
Yeah, I wanna. Yeah, Monsieur Barnaby, do you always talk so much?
I mean,
I'm just
it is of
asking
my
for-
nature to
Yeah,
give
what's up with
sermons.
that?
I volunteer at the church very often. I'm very proud of my sermons.
Oh, I am very much aware of
Well,
it.
that makes one of you.
Advocat's already gone.
It does.
He's just gone.
All right,
Alright,
and
just clarification. I'm not actually talking too much, am I? Sorry.
No,
no, it's good.
No, it's funny that Barnaby is.
A
He's a
verbose
ranter, and I like
individual.
that.
All right. So last thing to check is the small chapel.
Yep.
You approach and you notice a smaller humanoid figure standing before a very large golden shield, examining it carefully. The figure turns around, revealing himself to bear the visage of Thavius Krieg, as those of you who know the individual may recognize.
Barnaby will rush forward, kneel, and say, Father Thavius.
What's up? Him.
Hello, my child.
We thought you were dead.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
What's up?
I escaped.
Insight check.
I escaped Elturel as it fell, only to be captured by these horrible Van Thambers.
Terrible!
Barnaby, do you still have Zone of Truth?
I mean, yes,
I was
I
gonna
would tell you,
just-
this is the most holiest of man. I mean, where this man goes, the truth must be told.
Does
Do we even
Rhea
need it?
sense anything weird about this?
So, those of you with eyes
Correct.
can tell that his shadow doesn't match his form.
Oh,
Ooh, sexy.
And the dim candlelight casts his humanoid figure into the shape of a pudgy devil with tiny little wings and horns.
what?
Father Thavius, your shadow appears very pudgy.
I don't know what you mean. It's
All right,
fine.
I know a devil when I see one. I am a devil. Can we get on with it? What is this?
This individual does not appear fiendish.
Oh.
detect good. Mind if I do a detect good and evil?
Could you that detects a type of creature, if I remember correctly, right? The new version of it no longer detects alignment.
Okay, let's.
I was gonna say that would suck.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
Let me check. I'm just gonna say for convenience.
If I remember correctly, it detects your choice of fiend, undead, dragon, or shade.
Fiend.
I think.
Fiend.
Fiend.
Is aberration, celestial, elemental, fae, fiend, or undead?
And you're choosing fiend, I assume.
Yes.
So you get a faint read off of Advocat, which is to be expected.
Yeah.
But you do not get a read off of Thavius.
Well, he's certainly not a fiend advocate. I would have known the magic, but this is troubling. You are Thavius Creed.
Yes.
No, of course
please.
he's not.
Please rescue me.
This farce is too much. I feel insulted.
Stabs the visage.
What?
Stabs the visage.
Like the shadow?
Yes.
Your knife scrapes against stone tile.
Arliss is like trying not to cry himself laughing. He finds this entire thing hysterical.
Fine. I shall prove you all wrong then. I shall cast the zone of truth. I cast the zone of truth around us.
You can tell that Thavius Krieg tries to resist. And fails.
What does he say? You are Thavius Creed.
Yes. Truth.
See? Compelled.
There's something.
Interesting.
Oh.
Interesting.
What are you really doing here?
Doesn't say anything.
Is he holding anything in his hands?
No. He was looking at the shield when you came in, but it's still on its pedestal.
So it's not that this in particular was the farce, it's that you were a farce all along. I see now. How troubling.
What a scandal that would cause.
He does not meet your gaze.
Can I move?
Father Thavius.
Oh.
While you guys are talking, Gus is like reaching and climbing to get the shiny.
Gus had the exact same thought.
It's probably about as big as you are. It is a large shield.
Climbing the shield.
You like.
Okay. Does he react if I try pushing the shield to the ground?
Thavius?
Yeah.
Not particularly.
Okay, then.
No more than any ordinary person. Just like, what is that for?
Yeah, okay.
Although, as soon as you touch it...
Uh-oh.
You note that it is a gleaming, glorious golden shield with the visage of some being, some toothy, vile being across the front of it. And as soon as you touch it, you hear a voice in your mind whispering, I am the hidden lord. I am trapped here in this shield. Help me escape and I will do good.
Well, that's just ominous, and I'm not going to listen to it.
Yeah, Gus is like, why is the shield talking to me?
Okay, if the shield is talking, why don't we give it some space? That's disconcerting. And you know that the jig is up at this point. The Thavius, if that is the name, that can't be your real name. What is it that you go by?
It is. I am the leader of Elturel. I'm the savior of Elturel. That is. I mean was.
And and Barnaby says, the summoner of the companion. Correct, Father?
Of course.
How long does Zone of Truth last?
Well, let us see.
I think it's like...
I think I'm going to say long
10
enough.
minutes.
He does not answer.
Speak, Father.
I have a
The
dagger that will make
companion
him
arrived because of me.
That's not
Barnaby begins. He begins to grow larger. So you say, Father. Would you like to elaborate before this paladin of Thorn?
No.
Let
All
me
right.
rephrase. You will elaborate. Can I intimidate?
Yes.
That is going to be a 15.
It's spooky
Big man.
again.
If this doesn't work, I have an angle that I really want to take.
Look. I did what I had to do.
Which was?
I saved El Terrell. For a while. Look, it was either this or vampires. I did what needed to be done for the good of everyone.
What have you
And now
done?
it's gone. How
What
fascinating.
have you done?
Gone. But not destroyed, not yet.
Okay,
what really
that's
Go on.
happened?
I like the word yet. Why don't you explain? It's exciting, like something's gonna happen.
Anticipation.
El Terrell was lost. It was going to be destroyed. It was going to be utterly ransacked by undead ghouls and that ghastly vampire. And I made a deal with an individual of dubious repute.
Ah.
But she brought the companion, and the companion saved us. Scattered the armies, destroyed the vampire. And the only thing she needed in exchange was the entire city and everyone who sworn to protect it.
Good lord.
Ooh.
What a promise to make.
Oh, the money that would come from this scandal. The city would be in ruins.
I am damned too, you know. Points accusingly
Oh!
in both of you.
And so am I, according to what you have told me.
But here's the thing, I don't actually care that much about what happens. Forgive me for being crude, but I just simply don't care. In my mind, you made a deal. You made an awful deal. And now everyone knows. Sad, isn't it?
Yeah, you're kind of a shitty person.
Yeah? Forgive us. The Sanguin people can be a little blunt. But we mean well.
And Father, Fabius, explain to me the shadow.
Once the terms of our contract were met, 50 years. 50 years after I made the deal was collection day. It hasn't been the same since.
You've had this contract for 50 years and you hadn't found a loop in all that time.
It's simply not done. It is so much more complex. It's difficult to understand the weight of bureaucracy involved in such a matter.
How weak.
Yeah, you also didn't warn anybody about it? That's... I don't know about you.
Let's just roast the fuck out of this guy.
We're just fucking killing
20
him.
minutes.
It's also only the people that aren't from the city.
Yeah.
Like I have this scenario in my head of like y'all are behind Gorilla, who is like Like, what are your fucking names? Barnaby is like right next to him. I'm between the rest of you and him, and I'm just like on my knees, like slumping against one of the pews, just like totally out of commission.
Rest in pieces.
He's just blue screening.
Barnaby will take out a pair of manacles if he can, if that's possible.
You got him.
Yeah. And we'll say, I'd like you to offer me your hands, Thaddeus.
I would rather not.
Grab the hands.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Just shakes his head.
Well, GM time. What do you do with Thaddeus Krieg?
I have one more question for him.
Absolutely.
I like get up as like shakily as possible, and I cast light behind me,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of like have the light bounce off of my resplendence and yada yada.
Oh my god.
And I walk up to Thaddeus and I grab his face in my hands and I say, "My child, even one as desolate as you can be forgiven. Just tell me,
Ugh.
where did it go? Where did the city go?"
It's on Avernus. It's hers now.
Hers.
Zariel.
Why is that name so familiar?
Sweats and widow's peak.
Yeah, my
Yeah, it is.
Sweats and widow's peak.
my Azamar in Widow's Peak is named after this character. Don't worry about it.
Different character.
It'll be confusing briefly.
I was
They're
gonna say
very-
boss fight Rosario, I guess. What's up? What's
Very
good?
different people.
Yes, we rose to untold heights, and then we conquered the world.
Oh my god.
For us, what we do to him, I kind of want to have this guy paraded around the refugees and explain what he did. I know
That
it's
is
kind of
what
harsh.
Barnaby is very
I know
very
it's
much
harsh,
in favor of
but,
this.
like,
This is within the
He
code.
did just betray his people.
Yes.
True.
I mean,
So just like
you guys
turning him out to the refugees, basically.
like, I
Although
feel
I will
bad.
after a sermon about forgiveness, after a sermon about forgiveness, redemption, and reminder that we are that murder and vengeance does not bring closure.
I don't like this. I think we need to convince him to fucking help us get it back somehow.
I'm
I'd be
powerless
cat-
to stop.
out of this.
My contract specifies that I may not intervene.
But I can intervene.
And you were going to go
I'm
up
certain you
against
can.
a demon to get the city back?
Devil,
Devil, demon, I'm sorry.
and I had no intention of going against them.
And how would we get to this Avernus?
I don't know.
Here's a question.
I'm
What is this shield? And what is its significance to you?
I'm not certain. It is not my artifact. It is the property of the Van Thamper family. They just asked me to examine it. I believe it holds an entity of some sort, though with what intention, purpose, or origin I am uncertain.
Who did the shield speak to?
It spoke to me.
And Greg. Or Gus.
Greg.
His
All
brother.
right, I want to pick up the shield. All right, little cursed shield, please tell me your intentions, and we see. Intentions first.
Thank you, my friend.
Don't call me your friend.
Okay. It is I, the Hidden Lord. I have been stuck in here for a long, long time.
I don't give a shit. Give me the shield.
I want to be freed from this place so I can do good once again.
Your name is the Hidden Lord, and you wish
Correct.
good.
Yes.
Why is it that I do not believe any of your shit?
Because you are stupid.
I love this. I love it. Interesting. Can I insight it to see, like, how much...
If whether it
bullshit
believes you're
is given?
stupid.
In general.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely, you may. No, go for it.
16.
16?
Wait, hold. Was that my rate wisdom? Sorry, I have a lot of wisdom. Yeah, 16.
It's probably not being entirely honest.
It thinks I'm a little smart.
It does think you're dumb. You certainly are a puny mortal.
Yes.
In the eyes of the entity within this shield. It gives you some further details for the sake of speeding things up. It tells you that it needs to escape because there is a group attempting to recover it that don't want its powers used for good. This is true. This is a true thing. There are people looking for this, not good people looking for this. But whether or not the shield itself wants to do good by you,
Probably not.
debatable.
I kind of like this.
It does want to be free. You do know that.
What is freedom to it? How do we free it?
Bring me back to whence I was forged. From there I will be able to make my escape.
And home is?
Avernus.
Oh, that's just...
So it's all one.
That's
big
very
circle.
convenient.
Yes.
And what is in it for me?
So convenient that you will do as I ask.
I didn't say you could speak, Little Shield.
You
What is in
assume
it?
I will ask for permission.
Oh, you
Tiny
will. You want to get out.
thing.
Our help?
How exhausting.
I love
Seems
this.
like
I don't know.
you're
about
the
you.
stupid one here.
Good one, monsieur.
Please, take me with you.
What
I have
is in
heard
it
of your plight.
For us.
I will help you free Elturel.
How?
I can guide you on the lower planes better than anyone, any mortal.
I don't like this, but if we need to... I don't want to free...
With your insight standing, both of those things are true. It does seem like it will help you in exchange, and it does believe it knows the lower planes fairly well.
All right, to the two monsieurs from out of town, how bad do you...
I mean,
Is
as
that
you just,
important?
my loyalty lies with Kyla. This was a completely
Yes,
unexpected
yes, I know
detour.
you have your... I'm talking about the other two who now live in the streets of our city. Do you want your city back that badly?
Yes.
Oh, that's a damn shame. All right, are we doing this then?
Who is we?
Well, I certainly don't want to go into hell's... Do you trust the shield? I don't. Sorry, shield. My bad. But you understand.
I do.
That's right. So, why? I have no reason. These two...
Let me... Elturel is a city of resplendence and light. I'm sure one such as yourself could find many a valuable thing to be obtained by restoring it. Is that enough?
I like
don't
stealing.
know what I seek. And let me tell you, it doesn't involve monetary gain.
The first layer Avernus, the beautiful place. Oh, it will be home to many things, many desires. Anything you may want for could be revealed there. And the savior of a city, of an entire, of the capital of an empire, surely will be rewarded.
Yet we have no way of getting there, even if we wanted. Personally, I didn't even want to do this in the first place. My nose still hurts from earlier. So, I wish to wipe my hands clean, but I will admit, with someone with my history with obscure things, it does pique my interest a bit. Only a bit.
I'm also curious.
Our pay grade.
At this point, it's reasonable to assume that you've completed the task as assigned to you by Captain Zodge. So if you wish to return to him or to places other than this room, you may do so freely.
If we do, I want to take the shield, though.
Absolutely. It's a shield. You can bring it with you.
I will hold on to it. I'm not going to do any of that. I just want to have it.
All right.
Yeah. Let's
Keep moving.
adjourn.
Advocate. You are vaguely familiar with Miss Vincula. You've heard the name, but further you understand that she is a researcher. A researcher pertaining to the lower planes, specifically. If anyone were able to know more about what is truth and hearsay about it, or perhaps even a way to get there, she would know.
Interesting.
In any manner, you return to Captain Zodge. Task completed. Coin paid.
How much coin?
Given you a reward of 150 gold each for your wonderful service.
Yeah, yeet!
Cash money.
50% of it has to go to charitable charitable. That's
Oh,
unfortunate.
boo. Lawful good.
Mine. The money is mine.
The
Laughs in true neutral.
Captain Zodge is surprised by an unexpected return of a superior of his, a Liara Porter, from the Chult. We're not making Chult canon in this game.
I left Rhea
The
outside.
Badlands. let's say.
Rhea's not with us, because she has bounty.
That seems reasonable.
She's, like, out.
She'll come with you. She is entirely super interested in, helping save the city that she wants to protect.
I mean, yes, but I don't want her there when she has a gold bounty. I know it's just a gold, but still.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
But the
I mean, can we have her there? I would vouch for her personally.
I was about to say I could just pay her
Yes.
bail. if she-
yeah.
if-
Well, as long as she's with you, the other Flaming Fist won't mess with her. They assume that you have the situation under control.
Yeah. Also, Barnaby, big wall behind her. Big wall.
Big wall of elephant
Yeah.
meat.
Oh.
What are you doing, Bucky?
Yeah, so after you have been sufficiently rewarded, and Zodge has been somewhat berated for his tactics from a superior, you receive another visit from Krax, who approaches and is just like, good to see you all made it out. Okay. I am going to be headed back to whence I came. I've acquired a bit of passage with the Flaming Fist to let me out the doors. Luckily, if you so desire, I may be able to take you with me if you are interested. go see a particular, Miss Vincula. Did you manage to scavenge up the item I described by any chance?
What item is that?
A cube, roughly 5-6 inches aside, intricate markings on each side.
Daring an advocate.
Can I describe it with stunning accuracy?
You may. You describe it precise, every facet of its being.
Oh my god.
That precisely, yes.
Oh, I would speak to Advocat.
Oh,
I believe you found something like that earlier.
friend.
Yes. Thank you for jogging my memory. Yes, I have the item in my possession. I would actually like to personally hand deliver it to Miss. I'm sorry, how to pronounce her name?
Vincula.
Vincula. As I'm. Jeez. I'm needed back in the city anyways. I would like to head home and make sure that this arrives safely.
Wonderful then. I suppose we all have a train to catch, if I am to correctly believe that the rest of you will be accompanying us.
I mean,
suppose.
whatever, sure.
Just let me lock up my wagon and thank you.
I will go where I'm needed.
I believe there is unlikely a need as great as this.
For those of you with more investment than I will just go ahead and say, I think this cube will have something to do with getting to Avernus. So,
Oh, are we actually doing this? Are we actually?
Well, you are free to do as you
Shrug.
wish. I know I will be going, but don't let us drag you into
don't.
hell itself.
I don't need this. Let's go.
I think Eurillo's like trying to figure out where he stands because he's crushed. Like I think he was suspicious of the orb, but I don't think he was suspicious of Thavius.
I think Barney will try and take Eurillo aside, if possible. My friend, the powers that be work in very, very confusing ways. And they will not always do as we operate as we wish they were. But it isn't. But as representatives of our lords, me of Torm and you of Lathander, isn't it our job to carry on and make sure that all is well in the end? Isn't it? Trust me, I despair as well as you do. I adored this man. The nursery rhymes that I was sung. I will have to unlearn all of those, and that will not be easy. They are very catchy tunes. But that, do not let... Ugh, God, I'm messing up.
It's all right.
He tries to encourage you is what I'm trying to get. Sorry, I'm not very...
No, you're good. You're good. I think I almost called myself Lathander.
I am God.
I think Eurillo. Wow, I even fucked my own name up. I'm really good. I think Eurillo
Yellow.
kind of like
yellow.
YOLO.
YOLO.
I think YOLO. I think Eurillo, like, as you're speaking, is like, I would say, is listening prayerful. And it is kind of like he takes quite a while to respond to you, and I think finally he says, like something like, you know, Lathander is a god of renewal, and maybe the situation I am in is to bring about the renewal of the rebirth of El Turel.
Perhaps
Because I can't say the name of the fucking city that I'm from.
I suffer the same problems as you do. You do not want to know the amount of tutors my parents have gone through.
I'm not really gonna pry into that at all.
Train to catch, then?
Yes, train to catch.
Krax looks you all over, interestingly. This will be a very interesting ride. Alright, with the escort of the Flaming Fist, you're only bothered briefly by the groaning of refugees kept at bay from entering the city as you are let out.
I'm handing out money, handing out coin, everything I can.
Right. But you do make it out with Krax leading you, and take a overnight train to the city of Kyla. New Kyla, specifically.
Mm-hmm. Not the old.
We don't talk about her.
We have a brief moment if anyone wants to have a short, emphasized short conversation with one another. Otherwise, we can keep moving. It is late. I want to get this finished as best we can. I apologize for it going this late. If
I got a morning shift, so that would be best.
Cool.
But I won't stop people.
We'll keep moving then. So, you come in on the elevated train of New Kyla. There's a fantastic sight. You've gotten a good night's rest on the comfortable seating that Krax has arranged for you the night before. You see in a plaza there's an inventors fair going on for young inventors. Interesting little bits and bobs and pieces of technology. You can tell that there's been quite a ruckus around the city as new technologies and magics have been put into place time and time again as they go along. The stop you come along to is at a location that isn't quite complete. It appears to be under construction, a very large structure along the shores of the academic district, as you see. A library. Something very large and somewhat mechanical. It looks to be somewhat in progress, probably 60% done, as you can tell. Parts of it are functional, but the whole structure isn't yet complete. You hear tell of people around you calling it the Red Library, in honor of a particular event in Kyla's past, and other people calling it the Automated Library. And you do notice a small gnomish figure in a black lace dress directing workers to go fix it up. But it is a short time before you meet the individual you are looking for, Miss Vincula, dressed in dark robes and holding several books with a small pair of round glasses perched onto her nose. She is a crimson tiefling with horns curled back around her head. Her face is somewhat scarred, and her hands as well, but she bears a soft expression and kind curiosity as all of you approach. She offers a greeting. She says, Miss Vincula, though my friends call me Alice.
I'd like to point out the Barnaby has acquired a bowler hat. And
A bowler hat?
a bowler hat, and he
She's
tips
covered
it.
up in the world.
And tips and just sort of tips it with his trunk in a way.
She appreciates the politeness. She looks at all of you just like, I am to understand that you may have some new information to me. I must introduce my work briefly so that we can have this conversation to continue. Hello, my name is Alice Vincula. After a sort of a supernatural incursion we experienced recently, I've decided to spend an amount of time studying the ongoing infernal activities of the world, both in New Kyla and outside of it. I hope you understand, no offense to either of your cities. But this is a group that does not exactly respect borders when it comes to their dark arts. I understand that one of you may have an item particularly of interest to me. Looks expectantly
yes.
around the room.
I have acquired this, and Advocat produces the cube.
Fabius's cube, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cool. She like quickly picks it up and is just like, interesting. Now, I'll have to take a moment to Jezebel, and a quasit, if you are familiar with the creature, something of a little not a devil but a fiend, a little monkey-like creature with little horns and sharp teeth, comes around the corner and perks its ears up at Alice's call, and Alice goes, the Ichor, Jezebel, could you get that for me? And the Jezebel just kind of like chirps and scutters off as
How useful.
Alice continues to watch. Very much so. I can hook you up if you're interested. They're very much...
Perhaps. I could use some help around the home.
Jezebel is a wonderful assistant. Adds just the right amount of mischief to my life.
Oh, I'm sure my 3 girls would
it's...
love that.
Oh, I'm sure that would be quite a handful. I'd been suspicious of Thavius for some time. He was taking advantage of... I'm sure... Are any of you here from Elturel?
Yes.
Yes? Do you remember signing the Creed Resolute when you became a citizen? Those of you who are citizens of Elturel may know that when you become a citizen of Elturel, you sign a book known as the Creed Resolute, which is a list of all of the people who are citizens of Elturel and swear to, under the oath of the book, to protect it as its guardian. I would assume then that Yarlo and Barnaby have both then signed the Creed Resolute.
I did at least.
Probably. Good enough for me. You can figure out whether you've actually done that or not later. I suspected... This is a very unusual ritual for citizenship, you understand. And I suspect it is a means of subverting a contract. The devils love their contracts, and I assume that then this was used to make all citizens of Elturel additionally co-signers on some sort of contract. Jezebel. Good. Jezebel returns with a little vial of black liquid. And then Alice lifts up the cube and gives it an eye, and then uncorks the flask of ichor, which releases this acrid, kind of acidic smell. Not very pleasant, but she pours just a drop of it onto the surface of the box and then tilts it very carefully as the liquid runs through the grooves of the puzzle box one at a time in a very particular pattern. And then she turns it on its side as she pours it onto the next side of the cube, but the liquid itself does not pour off of the lines in which it's already come. She very carefully maneuvers the cube in this way for a while until there's a pop and the lid pops open off of the top of the box. And she reaches inside and pulls out a series of steel links stamped with infernal runes and welded together with small chain links. I have an image for this.
Wow.
Fancy.
She begins examining it and says, this is an infernal contract. Well, not actually an infernal contract. This is the copy of an infernal contract. One that kept anyone who has made an infernal contract receives a copy of it in one of these devices. It's interesting. I've found them very entertaining, though dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. This is a big image.
My.
Interesting.
assume the tiefling as depicted is what Alice looks like. But she then goes to read through the contract itself to you, or you may read it individually yourself. I will post the sum in chat.
Contract.
I'll put it in the general chat.
Is that her little assistant?
Yes, it is the Quasit. That is Jezebel.
I love.
Yeah. So she describes. She says, "Well, I can. Would you all like to read the contract, or would you like me to read it to you? It's not super important, but it's well worded, and I think it deserves time because the designers did a good job.
If you were doing a recording anyways, go ahead.
That seems reasonable. Be it known that to all that I, Favius Krieg, High Overseer of Elturel, have sworn to my master, Zariel, Lord of Avernus, to keep the agreements contained in this oath. I hereby submit to Zariel in all matters and for all time. I will place her above all creatures, living and dead. I will obey her all of my days and beyond with fear and servility. I recognize the dispensation of the device called the Solar Insidiator, hereafter called the Companion. In my capacity as High Overseer of Elturel and its vassal territories, I acknowledge that all lands falling under the light of the Companion are forfeit to Zariel. All persons bound by oath to defend Elturel are also considered forfeit. I further recognize that this dispensation will last 50 years, after which the Companion will return whence it came, taking Elturel and its oath-bound defenders with it, if that is Zariel's wish. All this is my everlasting pledge."
Wow.
I have a note that says, "If Rhea Mantlemorn is with the party, she is so stung by the revelation that she collapses onto the floor and weeps for Elturel." Yeah, that seems reasonable.
I'll just kind of hold her and just I'll just kind of kneel on the ground, kind of like wave her, just fan.
Oh, there.
Darling, please.
He's a gentleman. Come on.
All right.
How noble.
Our listen, monsieur, is a nobleman, a gentleman, even.
I'm certain. Well, that's Well, if what you found wasn't damning already, I suppose that would do it, wouldn't it? I am sorry to both of you. She gestures to both of the Elturel natives. Though, I do believe there is still time. This does not happen instantaneously, though you'll have to act quick if you want to. I also note that you have a particular shield with you of interest. If I may look upon it briefly, if you wouldn't mind.
He's awfully rude, but please.
Oh, I'm certain. And Alice takes a look at it and is just like, Gargoth. I know not what if this shield is what, I don't know what it's been telling you, or he's been telling you rather. But if I remember correctly, there was a pit fiend. Very powerful, acquired some amount of renown, almost godlike in power, named Gargoth, who was then sealed away by a certain family long time ago. It's incredibly dangerous. Has the power to corrupt souls of any radius. It really should not be kept in any place of high populations. That would be incredibly dangerous.
Good thing we're right next to an ocean, aren't Gargoth?
Well, further than that, I believe it should be sealed away in an extraplanar space where it cannot harm anyone.
A pocket dimension all its own.
That would be lovely. And the shield contacts you, Advocate, and is just like, no, please, I will help you. It will be all that you need. And do not do as she said. Although she may be not incorrect on some accounts, I promise no one knows Avernus as well as I. Alice kind of gestures and is just like, I'll leave it with you. You may do what you want with the shield. If you give it to me, I'll be sure to keep it somewhere safe and away from mortals. But your call.
Perhaps it should stay with you.
If you insist. The shield contacts you, Alvarez, and is just like, please, do not allow this to come to pass.
To me?
Yes.
It's... I'll
I
admit,
can be of
are the
great
kind
assistance.
of on the fence. Are we truly going to give this thing away? Actually would have imagined the two that would object the most would be you two, Barnaby, Yarilo. You would want to see your city restored. Possible, no?
I would, but trusting's... It is a difficult decision.
I promise. I will do everything in my power.
Promise.
I promise. I swear.
You promise.
Greater than any dark oath.
I would like you to repeat after me, Gorgoth, if that is your name.
Gargoth.
Gargoth.
Thank you.
I Gargoth.
I would like to hear the whole thing before repeating it, if possible.
Gargoth. In the name of the Lords of Light, Lathander, Torn, and all those who gather, who generate his light, do hereby swear to assist their loyal servants in the restoration of the holy city of Eltra, without to the best of their ability, and will not bring any harm to its subjects, for as long as this vow is left unupheld.
Gargoth. That's good enough.
I just got a fucking pop-up that said, please protect from viruses right now, please. Right when that was said.
You look at, like, the visage on the shield, and you could swear you saw it, like, cringe just a little bit. And it's just like, all of the Lord's light, giving, I promise, I swear, under the oath of your gods and mine, that I will assist you should you take me to Avernus.
I'd say get it in writing, but it doesn't exactly hands.
Barnaby puts a hand on the shield. I understand that must have been very hard for you to say. And I just want to say...
Do not pity me, pachyderm.
I shall say no more.
Oh, this is laughable at this point.
Yarilo, I think Yarilo is just so over all of this. He's like, just throw the shield in the ocean. I don't want...
I would rather you did not do that, if at all possible. And Alice is just like, if you would like to, I'll take it, if you're going to throw it in the ocean.
No.
I don't think we should accept any more
do
help.
Not believe... I shall keep it. Do not believe... Don't think... My soul is far too strong for a mere shield to corrupt.
Barnaby, I do not say this lightly, as you are basically my kin. You're a fool. If one as great as Thavius could be taken by one of these fiends, then you can as well, even more so. Our devotion is our weakness.
You know what? I agree with him. As curious as I am, this is too many different promises and
perhaps
it's all in word, nothing in writing, nothing solid, nothing.
Discard me, if you so desire. After You get to find me unuseful, and feel free to abandon, destroy, throw me in the river Styx.
I don't know about you guys, but I kind of trust him.
You may make insight checks if you want to see how genuine the fiend is being.
Not good. 7. God, this dice is just so much fun.
You believe him?
13.
He's telling the truth. Like he's so beyond just being like honest about this. It seems his promises are genuine, and he really doesn't want Alice to have him.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Can
my
we
belief
keep
that
up, please?
I've sworn an oath to the elephant.
so dumb.
Is that good enough? Again, do what you will if I am unhelpful, but I promise I will be.
I kind of like the guy.
I think it's up to Barnaby now. Barnaby was the one who made him swear, so...
I believe all can be redeemed, all can be forgiven.
Also, you can cast Fireball out of the shield.
Fuck. Oh, fuck. Now Eli wants it.
What?
You can cast Fireball using the shield for free.
I was gonna say, Arliss kind of wants it. He just like, alright, this is my buddy now. I can't use shields, but I want it.
A secondary?
Aesthetic.
Alright.
It's aesthetic.
I swear to you, Yarlo. I shall hold strong as best as I can, and if I should begin to be corrupted, I hope that you will do what is necessary.
Oh. Awfully noble.
Yes, very self-sacrificed.
I don't like it.
Oh, clearly a devotee of Torm, the god of courage and self-sacrifice.
Yes! That is what we were taught!
Gargoth Monsieur.
Yes.
We live to see another day, apparently.
Good. I want you to live.
Oh, I know you're saying, and that's what I love about you.
Thank you.
Of course. He like pets the top of the shield. Come now, buddy.
It's very shiny.
He like straps it to his back.
Sorry. You know what, Barnaby? Do what you will.
Ooh, conflict.
Out loud.
I hope this is in character.
I have never been out of character.
I will do what I must.
All right.
For a leader. For Alter.
If you are committed, a couple things to help you on your way. Firstly, a map, I believe, of the plane. Now, I will advise you. I'm going to put this in the art docs and pics thing. This map is not altogether reliable, as the cartographer who made it went mad after doing so. But
good.
I am to believe that the locations depicted are factual. They are present. And I would so appreciate... Oh, yes. I would so appreciate if you took it. Take it, but also take it with a grain of salt.
Oh, I do know this map.
Oh, that's awesome.
The angel figure is there again.
Yes.
Really?
It appears so.
Wait.
Oh, hot damn, that's a big map. Oh god, I should.
It's
have
really,
zoomed in.
really big.
Oh my god, don't zoom in.
Don't.
No, it was a bad idea.
It's like a like 15,000 pixel image.
Oh my god, it's big.
Holy Jesus.
It's very, very large.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Ooh,
look,
it's
at
so
the big,
lovingly
look at the big
rendered.
skull. What is the big skull? I want to know what the skull is.
Big
That's
skull.
my dad. That's what.
Thing That's like, oh, that's
That's
fucking
my
creepy.
dad.
It's Monday.
I found
many-
Mordor.
And another thing, a companion that I think will be able to help you. She has much experience battling the infernal. Lulu.
Lulu.
You hear a rustling from above you in the library. And then on small golden wings, a hollyphant comes down to greet you. I also have images for this, although I will put them in the text thing.
Elephant.
I
hope it's cute. It's cute!
I'm sorry, I'm squealing.
It is
It's
very
cute.
cute. Holy shit.
Oh my.
This is Lulu the hollyphant. And Lulu kind of like trumpets at you and it's like, hello.
Baby.
Now, Lulu has a bit of a history battling devils in Avernus. She should be able to help you greatly on your. I wouldn't be so bold as to call it a quest, but on your way. If you should choose to have her accompany you, who's just like, I'm ready to go.
Oh my god, I can talk. Oh my god.
Not to insult your ability or anything, but your appearance doesn't look like that of a.
I understand. I understand your hesitance, I suppose. But I promise you, if we all work together, we'll be able to do great things. And I do know some of the layout. I've been there before. I've been there a while. I can guide you somewhat. I do. I remember some things. I was with Zeriel for a while.
That would be helpful. Interesting.
But I don't remember much more than that. Nor how I got back here. But I'm certain that if we get down there, we'll be able to kick some devil butt and do what we need to do.
Oh, how charming. Are we doing this right now at this moment, or can I get my affairs in order?
Alice turns to you and is like, you may... you may do as you desire, though I would recommend haste, of course, as necessary. When you should so choose, I personally am not able to get you to El Turel, though I know someone who can. There is a cleric in the Temple of Lesser Deities, a Dahlia Highhill.
Oh my god.
Fucking dab on him! Fucking dab on him!
If you go to her and tell her, I have a favor that I need to call in and a message to deliver. And Alice reaches into a folder and gives you an envelope addressed to a Catherine.
Fucking dab
Oh
on him!
my god.
And just goes, I have messages to send, and I'm sure that one stop in Avernus on her way to Flethagos shouldn't be too much trouble.
No, I don't think that should be any trouble at all.
So, as soon as you all are ready, feel free to be on your way. It's been wonderful talking to you. If I can ever be of service again to you, you'll know where to find me.
Likewise. Well, maybe not. Well, we'll see. This will be quite complicated, I fear.
Unless.
Yeah.
I have a question for the group.
Mm-hmm.
Would someone like to play Lulu the Hollyphant?
I would like to play Lulu if everybody's okay with that.
I have no.
I would also like to play Lulu, but I will default to whoever would.
So, because of the contrast of characters, I would actually like it if Hannah played Lulu.
That'd be fine.
Because I'm super interested in Hannah playing both Lulu and Advocat.
That
I
is
think that'd be
perfectly
funny as hell.
reasonable.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of additional information I'll be giving you, as I will you,
Yay.
Dahlia, for Rhea.
Okay.
But for the most part,
Dahlia.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a pattern.
And
It's a habit.
so many names. But not much. Mostly stat block stuff. Things you do know is that Lulu is a Holophant, who has lost her spellcasting ability currently.
Lulu, no.
Her mind's a bit fuzzy on what happened while she was in Avernus. But depending on what you do, where you go, who you talk to, I may be feeding you memories as
Great.
we go along.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I need to work on my little elephant sound. I can't add any
she
more
does
on it.
have a trumpet combat ability, and it is very adorable.
Like pre-
That's so good.
So,
Why is this thing so cute?
I will give you the little description that I think is really cute. Is Lulu doesn't have a mean bone in her little body.
Ah,
She believes in the power of friendship and looks forward to kicking evil's butt with the characters by her side,
Yes.
Yeah.
which I think is adorable.
YouTuber.
Lulu's here to help.
All right. Yeah. So if you would like to get your affairs in order before you depart, you may do so. Though I would recommend we do so off screen, so that we may accelerate the process.
All Advocate wants to do is make sure that someone is taking care of the girls,
Yep. Sounds good.
and also the rest of his duties.
Is it Alice? Does Alice? I mean, I don't think you two have a. No, you don't. You two don't have that kind of relationship. Yeah. So yeah, if you so desire, you may go visit Dahlia in the Temple of Lesser Deities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Alright.
we're ready.
Be very happy to.
Dahlia,
Hi.
a curious group of adventurers, of all shapes and sizes, including a Loxodon, a Tiefling, a Kobold, 2 humans, and a Holophant, have arrived at the Temple of Posen. One of which, who took the letter to Catherine?
The what?
No one's speaking. The letter to Catherine?
I
No one's
can-
speaking, so I'm going to say Advocate.
Yes.
You're the businessman. You got it.
I'm so tempted to be like, can
Gonna
I
be
like,
getting to me
surreptitiously
anyways. I
like,
don't want
peek in the
me giving
folders
it to me.
before?
How is the Temple of Posen looking nowadays, now that the war's over? Dahlia.
Oh, you asking me, honey?
Yeah.
Okay. It's doing really well. She probably put a lot of her own money and effort from like after everything that happened into restoration, just because she had turned the place basically into a safe haven for refugees during the crisis. So it's kind of been redesigned. It's a lot more practical for just daily worship, and then obviously her classic prayer services.
Very
But
popular.
it's
Increasingly
probably
popular.
a lot more happening. Like there's a lot more people there than there used to be.
Wonderful.
It's still not like a lot of people, but like it's a fair bit for a god that isn't really as some of the others.
Delightful.
I'm gonna say, like, Barnaby is sort of very much comparing.
These temples are very small compared to the ones in El Terrell.
There's only like a few pews. It's not a lot.
This is akin to a service chapel, as would be attached to a
Small community.
Yeah. One of the outer suburbs.
You just hear Barnaby, like, take off his hat, say, quaint, but very functional. Habitable, almost. I must say, my young halfling friend, very, very, good on the design, especially very, very good on the design. Serves its purpose quite well. Did you say?
She's like looking up all the way,
Uh,
like having to tilt back. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I got some help here and there from some friends of mine, but yeah, this is it. Welcome.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Advocate, you have the letter, correct?
Yes, we're not here for idle chit chat. We actually have business to conduct. We're actually
That's what
looking
I'm here
for a Catherine. We were told you would know where she was.
Yes. Why do you need to see her?
I'll just hand over the paperwork and be like, we were given this to give to her.
Sorry, I may have miscommunicated. The understanding is that the letter is for Catherine. Dahlia can get you to Avernus. Then Dahlia will deliver the letter to Catherine on her way to Phlegethos, which is the 5th layer of the Nine Hells.
Oh.
I did misunderstand. So. I see.
That is my bad for miscommunication, not character problems.
Oh, good.
So you guys need to go to
Hell.
Okay. Follow me real quick. She's gonna like try leading everyone into the study area, so it's not just out in the open discussing going to hell.
Bad optics.
Doesn't look great for the temple. I'm sorry. I'm a little lost. Can you explain why hell? Why?
Well,
You know,
going on?
Eturil?
Yes, I'm familiar. I've
You
been
know
there
it's,
one time or two.
You know that it's well, been lost.
Sorry?
The city is no more.
That's a good one. City can't just grow legs and walk away.
No, it was taken. There's a. Sorry, what's that fucking asshole's name? Thavius
Krieg.
That is Krieg, yeah.
Thavius Krieg.
Dahlia, you may know Thavius Krieg as an asshole.
Yeah. I'm like,
He
you get like an eye squint.
Yeah. He summoned what we called the Companion. It
Beacon of
was
light.
supposed to be a ward for our city, but it was really its doom. Zariel, I don't know how to explain it. She's from Avernus, and she has taken the city there. I mean, that's why we have to go to try and save it.
Lest it or all our souls, those of us who live there, be damned.
Well, that's just straight up not fun.
No, it's actually quite bad.
Oh, I assure you, there's nothing fun
okay.
about it, young friend.
Okay,
Sister.
sure, whatever.
Sister.
Sure. So you need me to get you to Avernus. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
Okay. He's gonna be so mad when he hears. I'll just send him a letter later. Oh, I can still talk to him. It's fine. We're good. It's fine. Yeah. You know, I'm tired of just holding a broom for like 4 hours a day, just sweeping up dust that isn't there anymore. I like a little adventure. I don't mind. Unless, okay, is everyone here willing to do it? Because, A, big thing about hell, death and dying, I not bring everyone back. I get it, cleric, like, holy, heals, it's just not my style. I don't do that, really.
Well, that's why I'm here. That's like my whole thing. That's my whole jam.
Oh, wow, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, okay.
The shade.
Okay.
13th level shade.
Ice cold.
Okay. When are we doing this? Like now?
Like now. Yeah.
Time is
I
of
believe
the
we're
essence.
all ready.
Give me
Yeah.
like 5 minutes to let my compatriot here know that I'm gonna probably be leaving for a little bit, and then we're good to go. So if you need to get like any supplies, you have like 5 minutes. Although there's like no stores here, just yeah.
I just want to say thanks for the wicked bad heads up. Appreciate it.
That's what I'm best for, honey. Don't worry. And she's gonna like scamper off to find Cien and just like tell him.
Give him a heads
yeah,
up.
By the way,
You're not gonna
just,
be
like,
around.
By
for a
the
little
way, might die, but hey, I'll be back.
BRB, going to hell.
Yeah, basically.
bit. Slap sign on door of study.
Gone to hell. Be
Gone
back.
to hell. Be back at
Please
lunch.
leave all messages in the voicemail.
File. I'll be changing my mailing address. Yeah, you'll be able to come back very shortly, but the rest of them.
Yeah. All right. Is everyone ready? Show of hands. No, do we not do this? Okay, that's boring. All right. I'll go ahead and do this, and she's gonna start setting up to cast plane shift.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good spell.
Yeah. So you all join hands in a large circle. There is a sigil drawn on the floor in magical chalk. Stop! I'll figure it out later. Stop it. Stop messing with my toys.
Sorry.
The circle beneath you glows in a sort of blue light, then turns to the kind of black void of the night sky as you continue standing. As you feel yourselves shifted out of time and place until you then arrive whole together on the streets of Elturel, suspended high above the river Styx, fixed to the shores with chains the size of warships, and slowly but surely sinking down toward the water as the companion, a now pitch black orb above you, crackles lightning onto the surrounding landscape. Welcome to Avernus. I have a picture.
Alright, I'm gonna solve something.
Literally, Dahlia upon arrival. Oh, this isn't good. Oh no. Oh my god.
Fuck, that's cool as shit.
I'm going to be sharing a lot of the art from this book because
Wow.
it's
Oh, it's
so
so
good.
It's so good.
This is, like I said, I think this is the best module I've ever read in my entire life.
Shit,
Easily.
that's awesome.
Yes.
It's a module. I thought you made this.
No.
No, dude.
No, we're running a heavily modified version of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus.
You're welcome, B.
Yes, it's very good, and I'm very appreciative of you letting
I
me
own
borrow
so
it.
many core books. I own so
All right.
I didn't read it ahead of time, really, so
Good, that's
like,
ideal.
completely unspoiled.
That'll be it for tonight. I will make
Yay.
sure to send you, Caroline, things for Rhea.
Thank you.
And you, Hannah, things for Lulu. In the meantime, things to do on your own. Bonds. You may write bonds for... I think you've all interacted enough that you have enough to write bonds for each other character. If you don't worry. It's okay if you want to wait a little while before writing your first initial bond. Additionally, purchasing items from the list with your soul if you so choose. And leveling up to level 5. We'll be starting the next session talking about our level, our new subclasses and or other stuff, any soul things that we've obtained, and where we're at, like as far as character creation goes.
But we can just go right ahead to level 5, right?
Yes, automatically to level 5. If you have enough soul after creating your bonds, you may take the option that lets you go to level 6. I understand that this will be asymmetrical for some people, and I have plans for figuring that out. So don't worry about it too much. Not everyone will level up all at the same time in this campaign. Sometimes.
That's okay.
So the number next to the things on the list, that's how many souls you have to spend?
Correct. That's how much it costs.
Okay.
You may take each line item once, so you can't just load up on languages, although that would be neat.
So you can't have 4 allies.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
You also you need to have at least 1 soul remaining after you have spent it. Anyone who has inspiration loses it.
Womp
Right.
womp.
Can't lose it if I had never had a baby.
Yeah, I hope that was a pretty good introduction to what this campaign
yeah.
is going to be.
I'm gonna have so much fun with this character.
Almost definitely not all our sessions are going to be this long. Today was just pretty hefty because we had a lot to get through.
Yeah.
Character creation, getting into that.
Hope folks enjoyed the little cameos. I enjoyed that.
I have to build Dahlia again.
You don't. In that, because I am working under the assumption that she's then going to leave for Phlegethos, because this is not her problem. She has other things to worry about.
Yes, you do.
I mean, if you want, I'm not gonna say no if
Morally,
you want
she
to
would
get
be
involved, but this is not that game anymore. So I would.
It's also, I already have Rhea anyways.
Yes.
3 characters is a bit much.
Yeah,
is true.
It's heavy.
Yes.
Playing Lulu and Advocate is going to be.
I doubt that's definitely why I wanted you specifically, because those are 2 very different characters, and I'm
I
interested.
think Rhea and Arliss are all.
So this is good. This is good GM practice. I don't know. Both of you have a good chunk of experience GMing, but running very different characters concurrently is hard,
Fucking
and I think would be a
sucks.
good piece of practice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you have any questions about leveling up or what you want to do or what else is going on, let me know. Also, very short side thing. If I remember correctly, an amount of us are free on Thursday and Friday.
Where's my phone?
Specifically Friday at 5.
Let's see.
Basically, I'm gonna extend the anyone who is free Friday at 5, if they would like. I'd like to run an Apocalypse World one shot. Specifically a winter themed Apocalypse World one shot. Because very rarely do we see the snow apocalypse.
True.
So, just to get that seated, we can talk more about that later. And it is really short notice, so.
I'm free Thursday, but I'm busy Friday. I have work from 3 to 8.
All right.
I believe I have Friday off. Of work.
So I can miss that. It's fine.
All right. Well, in any case, thank you for playing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't advise missing work for that.
I literally can't. I think that's the day Drew starts.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for playing. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm excited to continue playing.
Me too.
This party is already so chaotic.
This party is wild.
Yeah, this is
I
real crazy.
So if I remember correctly, we've had lots of conversations about alignment in general. I don't remember Iarlo. Do you have a good alignment strictly?
I have not really chosen that yet.
Because if not, I don't think anyone does. Which is because you
really funny.
I'm leaning good.
You're leaning good. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait. I thought Barnaby was
Definitely lawful. But debates on neutral versus good. Although, like I said, we've had conversations about alignment. It's both fluid and descriptive rather than prescriptive.
Yeah.
Sweats.
Yeah, Gus is true neutral.
I'm super interested in where this goes, and I hope it's not too depressing.
Bro, I'm so excited for the Dark Secrets. It's like, oh wow, huh?
Yeah.
Can't wait.
All right. Yeah.
Man.
I'm gonna.
Yep.
I'm gonna log
I
off. It's
have-
11:52. Some of you have to work in the morning.
It is
Haha, dab.
late. Good night, everyone.